everyone, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So today we have a more open-ended future spouse reading. This is just going to be who will you marry. I've noticed I've been doing like very specific future spouse topics, and I wanted to do something more general and just let the messages flow, whatever your future spouse's higher self wants you to know, whatever your spiritual team wants you to know, and not try to focus so much on a specific question, because especially like when I film those sorts of videos, I notice like other messages will come through and I'll try to block them out because I'm trying to make sure I'm staying on topic, because I don't want anyone upset that I'm getting off topic, and it kind of just interrupts the flow. So I definitely am still going to do specific readings, and now we're having a fire truck come by. I live near a fire station, so it just happens sometimes. It'll stop soon. But I kind of just wanted to have something open-ended, mix it up a little bit. I am, fingers crossed, hoping that this is going to be the first part in a series. I want to do in the month of December one full week of future spouse readings, either Monday through Friday or Monday through, like a full 7 days. I haven't fully, decided yet, but I want to do that just as like a holiday gift to you all. I don't know if everyone celebrates a holiday in December, but for me, it's a time of holidays, and so I would like to give something to you all, and I know you guys really enjoy the future spouse readings, so hopefully I'm going to do my very best to either do a full 5 days or a full 7 days of future spouse readings. This will be the first video to kick it off, if everything goes according to my plan. So make sure that you're subscribed and you have the notification bell turned on so you don't miss out on any videos. Alright, so we have 3 groups to choose from today. We've got the Lovers or Hawthorn for pile 1. For pile 2, we have the Chariot or Cedar. And for pile 3 here, we have the Magician or Sunflower. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and meditate on the groups. The timestamps are listed below in the description box, and I will see you all in your reading. Hi pile 1, so if you chose the Lovers card, you are in the right place. Also, I cut my thumb. I don't know how, but it's a little bit inflamed, so if it looks red, I'm sorry. It freaking hurts, so hopefully it heals soon. But yes, you guys chose the Lovers card, and good for a romantic sunset is the love token that was selected for your group. So this is kind of like a little love promise from your future spouse. So this could definitely be someone who likes the outdoors. But with the Lovers card here, I really like the way this one is depicted. You see the thorns here and how it's essentially 2 overlapping circles. I feel like that's a really good metaphor for how your marriage is going to be. Like you're going to retain your individuality, right? Like you're both going to still have your own separate projects, your own separate lives, friendships that are separate from the connection, goals that are separate from the connection. But where you come together, that's where the magic lies. And you see here these thorns that are separating, right? You guys are still having healthy boundaries with each other. You're not becoming so enmeshed to where you're not sure where they begin and they, and where you end kind of thing, where you lose all sense of individuality. Their thoughts are your thoughts, or what you like is what they like. It's not like that, like you guys are both still your own individuals, but when you do come together, you create magic. And so I feel like this is essentially like a healthy, balanced marriage, but also these circles are infinite, right? Like there's no way to separate these 2 links. And so even with challenges that may come up with the thorns, you all still are able to meet those challenges together because you're stronger together, right? There are some couples that bring out the worst in each other. This is the opposite. You're going to bring out the best in each other. And so this speaks to having a long-lasting marriage, a marriage that lasts until death do us part. So yeah, what a great way to start off your reading. Also with the Lovers, this could be talking about a soulmate connection, but I think what people sometimes forget with the Lovers card is that the lovers can also talk about a decision that has to be made. And I always like that idea that, yes, we're soulmates, but we're still choosing each other. We still have free will. You know, fate may bring us together, but fate isn't going to keep us together. We have to choose that. And so I just love that beautiful message for you all. And of course, all the green, the heart chakra, you're going to be able to bloom and grow things together. The 6, indicating that this is very balanced. Also, you know, your partner could have some Gemini placements as well. Have to bring that up with the Lovers card. Okay, so I chose the Golden Girls Tarot deck for you all. We're also going to get some Spark Romance matchsticks at the end of your reading. We're going to use our grab bag, and then we also have an Oracle card that I selected for you all. So we've got a lot going on. And we're going to be shuffling on camera. I just love it so much more to shuffle on camera. Like, I know it does take a little bit more time, but I just love it. Alright, so pile 1. A big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages, as well as your future spouse's higher self. Who will you marry? What do we need to know about this marriage? Pile 1. Who will you marry? You could be living by the water or settling by the water, given the fact that this is the Golden Girls Tarot that I was drawn to for your group. Your future spouse could love the water. Maybe they're a swimmer. I love that we're starting off with the Devil card. This is one of my favorite Devil cards because it's so fun. We'll get into it in a second though. I also just feel like there's a real like sweet, sweet nature. I don't know, either you or your future spouse just has a really sweet disposition, or which now I'm being drawn to Sweet Disposition by The Temper Trap. That's a song. It's a very romantic song in my opinion, but either one of you is very sweet just as an individual, or you guys are both just very gentle and affectionate towards one another. Ah, the Tower. Remember how I said there may be challenges that you have to overcome? Now I'm hearing I came in like a wrecking ball. Emotionally, you guys may shake each other up like the Tower. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm kind of getting this vibe that both of you will be very career focused in your connection. This is gonna bother me. You guys may be like very career focused, and then when you meet each other, it's like you're forced to reconnect with your feelings all over again, because I feel like not necessarily that you're repressing your emotions, but when we get super busy and we're really focused on our goals and we're rushing from one task to the next, you know, and our schedules are jam-packed, you know, we've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff we want to work on, we're not necessarily checking in with ourselves, you know, taking time to see how we're feeling. We're just in a rush. And so maybe we feel overwhelmed or stressed, but we don't really feel anything deeper than that. Or, yeah, like we're not sitting there analyzing how do we feel given that we're single, or that, you know, like whatever the case is. And so I feel like, you know, when this person comes in, it's going to be like a gift from the universe, but it's definitely going to shake your foundation because you haven't, it's sort of forcing you, and likely your future spouse as well, because you're probably mirroring each other. With the Lovers, you're probably most definitely mirroring each other. You know, it's going to kind of shake you up a bit, you know, and make you connect with feelings that kind of are a little bit dusty, like they've been put on a high shelf. You haven't experienced those feelings in a while, right? Excitement, lust, infatuation, intrigue. You know, you haven't felt that in a while. And so even when you're flirting, you may feel like a little bit rusty, like it's a little bit foreign. I do feel like you could be meeting this person through your work or through your job in some manner. Now, this doesn't mean literally you have to work together, but it could be that somehow your work is influencing this. So like maybe your future spouse is a public figure and you see them online, and that's how you two end up connecting. This could also be that you two work in the same field, and maybe you're on a dating profile and you made the profile months ago, and then suddenly you get a message from someone who's like, hey, you know, like I'm a lawyer too, you know, or like whatever your job is. And you start connecting over that. This could also signal that, you know, at the time that you meet your future spouse, you are experiencing a lot of career success and growth, and you're feeling kind of on top of your game. And so then the devil card energy comes through with like a wink and this like cheesecake, right? This indulgence. And the devil card's like, hey, remember, life is not all work. Sometimes it's play and fun too, right? Like Blanche is the one who is the most sociable on the Golden Girls. She's the one who always has so many dates. She's, you know, she just puts in her little time at the museum, and then the rest of her time is spent socializing and going on dates and eating cheesecake, right? Like she knows how to have a good time. And so I feel like the devil card energy is coming forward in a positive way to try to balance this out, because you can't be all work and no play, right? Like the phrase like workaholic may not be the most like politically correct term, but we know that phrase, right? Like we all know that term of like overworking is in and of itself, you know, an addiction as well. You know, ultimately it's not good for your mental, emotional well-being. And then with the Nine of Pentacles here as your bottom of the deck, I feel like that career success is finally coming through as like a gift from Spirit, because Spirit wants you to slow down long enough to chill in your garden and welcome in this new love. So like your cup is ready, right? So it's, you know, here comes your future spouse to offer their cup as well. And so you're not going to continue to be all work and no play. So that's what I'm seeing so far. With the Devil card as well, your future spouse could have Capricorn placements, or you could. Obviously, there's a lot of earth sign energy here. So Capricorn, if that's resonating, is essentially confirmed here 3 times. Virgo and Taurus could also be significant placements, either for you or your future spouse. Okay. So let's get some more information about this connection. I'm just taking these oracle cards in the order that they're closest to me. I don't really have a plan today. I feel so free. All right. Pile 1. What else do we need to know about this marriage? Pile 1. I also will say, like, as disruptive as it's gonna feel with this tower and experiencing all these feelings you haven't felt in a long time, it doesn't mean that it's going to continue to feel so shaky, because you have all of this earth sign energy grounding everything. So this connection, even though the feelings are very passionate, I still feel like it's gonna unfold naturally, organically. I feel like both of you are mature. You're gonna take your time with it, build a solid foundation. It could still start off, you know, as friends to lovers, you know, 100%. It's just the feelings are going to be intense, but the behaviors still seem mature. Let's take it slow, you know, let's see where this goes kind of thing. So I think it's a nice balance between that heat and that passion, but then also let's be comfortable and safe and secure, and, you know, not feel like we're rushing into things and we're going to make a mistake because we're rushing it. Pile 1, who will you marry? What else do we need to know? Pile 1, who will you marry? Oh man. Card almost like hit Gracie. We have nature, time outside, environment, take a walk outside. I'm actually going to split these up because this deck is too thick. Okay, so we were picking up on that with the romantic sunset card, right? Like your future spouse is someone who likes to spend time out in nature. You could also be the same way, because I definitely feel like you two may be mirroring each other a little bit. But yeah, it could be also this person is shaking up your daily routine, and maybe at the time that you meet them, you're spending a lot of time indoors working on something, and they get you, you know, out of the house and back into nature. It may be a little bit of a mixed group here. or depending upon your life circumstances, you know, when you actually meet them. So, rebirth, new beginnings. Love that. I mean, that's kind of like the Tower is clearing away whatever is holding you back from this connection. So if you are involved with someone else, you know, that's got to fall away. If they're involved with someone else, that's got to fall away. I think the intensity of this connection cannot be denied. This is also Scorpio energy, right, with rebirth. And so Ace of Pentacles, it's a new start. So I don't feel like you know this person. This does feel like a new person, or if it's a new beginning, that could signify this is someone from your past, because the 6 with the Lovers can talk about, you know, people from childhood. So take that if it resonates. For most of you, this is going to be a new person. And with Scorpio energy, there's a lot of physical intimacy, passion as well. Okay, we have toxic, codependency, addictions, karmic, and controlling. I think for some of you, that's the Devil card again, like you're working too much and your life needs to be in better balance. Some of you only take this if it resonates, but some of you may be in a karmic connection when this person comes in, or your future spouse is in a karmic connection, and when they meet you, they can't deny those feelings for you, because this is a true love soulmate connection, and so they have to let that other relationship go. With the Hope card, now that I'm seeing hope and toxic come out, hope, don't lose faith, stay positive. I kind of wonder for some of you, like, if you're kind of feeling like, man, I've been waiting on my future spouse a really long time, like, when are they gonna come in, you know, like, when is this gonna happen? For some of you, this could be signifying that there's some toxic behaviors that need to be let go of, and some emotional maturity that needs to happen before you can meet your future spouse, and likely it's on your future spouse's end. Like, if you feel like you're ready, it's probably then on your future spouse's end. And my advice for that, just like personal advice for that, this isn't coming from spirit, but personally, I would look at it like, let's practice loving them now. So like if you were in a 3D, you know, they're right here, right there in front of you, connection with them, and they said, hey, like, I'm going through a difficult time right now. I just need some space to figure some stuff out. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. And, you know, I don't want to hurt you or lash out at you while I'm trying to go through this. If you can just give me some space to process this. As a couple, like, you would give them that space, right? And like a healthy connection, when someone asks for space, you give it to them, especially if they've communicated it in, you know, a nice, effective way. And so practice loving them now, you know, like if they were in front of you, you would give them space. So even though you're apart, give them the space that they need to grow into the person with rebirth, grow into the person who is going to be ready for this level of connection, you know, because we have to get ready for marriage. Like, that's a big step, right? And yeah, I mean, that would be my advice to you. Or you can, you know, practice patience in other areas of your life to kind of help flex that muscle a little bit. So, you know, like when I'm playing with my cat, for some of you, like, cats sometimes have zoomies and they're really hyper. And then other times when you play with them, like, they just want to stalk, like, whatever toy you're using rather than run after it. And it gets so tedious. Like, just shining a red laser, like, back and forth gets so tedious. But then I remind myself, you know, she's a cat. You know, like, her life, her time with me is precious. If she wants to stare at this laser for 30 minutes and not move, then so be it. You know? So in some way, like whatever way you can in your life to practice patience and flex that muscle, I think would be helpful. And I'm sure you've already been patient. So, you know, yep. This is gonna unfold slowly. This is gonna unfold slowly. This is gonna build. If you're feeling, when those strong emotions come in, Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes. This is all lining up so well. Okay, for those of you who are like, oh yeah, I would love to take it slow, 100%. You may say that now, but when you're actually with the person, your feelings may change. You know, you may be so overwhelmed by the intensity of the feelings that you're experiencing. You may feel tempted to rush it, like this person is so amazing, I don't want to lose them. You may get worried if they're not saying I love you as soon as you expected, or if they're not making it exclusive as soon as you expected. You may get in your head a bit about it, and that's completely understandable. But Spirit is saying just be cautious, you know, don't rush it, build that solid foundation. You know, even if they're the right person and the one, you still want to enjoy the process of getting to know each other. You still want to enjoy the process of like the honeymoon stage. You know, don't rush to the finish line. Enjoy the journey together. The finish line being marriage. And then with cycle here, this tells me that we were on the right track. Like someone here has to end a karmic cycle, you know, and again, it could be that meeting you forces them to finally make that change. If you feel like I'm not in a karmic situation, I don't know anything about that. This is your future spouse's energy. And with forgiveness, like they have to forgive that person to move on for themselves and to be ready emotionally for you. You know, not for the sake of like getting back together with that person. All right, pile 1. What else do we need to know about this marriage? Who will pile 1 marry? Pile 1. Says you're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. I feel like you may be picking up energetically this person's energy even now. With the Lovers, you're probably already connected in the 5D, like between your higher selves. And so if there are days when you feel really sad for no reason, or you feel frustrated for no reason, or tired for no reason, be gentle and take care of yourself, and don't kind of torture yourself with like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? Just accept it, because honestly, it's probably an energetic influence from your future spouse. You know, so like if they're having a really terrible day, energetically that could influence you now, even though you're not together with them. So just take care of yourself, you know, cleanse your energy. You know, during those moments, take a little bit more time for self-care. Just kind of understand that's their energy influencing you now. We have music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. So your future spouse could be a musician. They could really, really love music, and that's a huge part of their life. Maybe that's a major hobby for them. This could also be something that you two have in common if you're really into music. And then also you could be getting signs and downloads from their higher self. So maybe their higher self sends you messages through songs. Okay, we have travel. So your person could travel for work. That would make sense if they're a musician. Maybe they go on tour, you know? But yeah, your person could travel for work, and you could meet them while they are traveling. And then we have crystals. Yeah, I feel like Spirit wants you to work with crystals to cleanse your energy when you're being like overly energetically influenced by them, because I kind of feel like your future spouse is going through a lot, to be honest. With that, with all those karmic cards that we had, and ending of cycles and rebirth and transformation and healing with the Scorpio energy, they're probably going through a lot, and that's probably affecting you. And if it hasn't started affecting you yet, it could be because they haven't realized that they're in a karmic connection. You know, things haven't hit the fan yet, so to speak. So just be prepared for that if that does happen. This could also be speaking to the fact that your future spouse is spiritual. Maybe they're into occult related things such as crystals. Bottom of the deck we have writing, so I mean they could be like a musician, songwriter for certain. I think regardless though, they're just a very creative person, and so that could involve any form of creativity. Even if they own their own business, you know, like there's creativity in marketing and designing like the physical like office space, or if it's like a restaurant, you know, designing the restaurant, cooking the food, designing the menu. You know, there's a lot of things that involve creativity and writing that aren't necessarily like, oh, they're a painter, you know, although they could be. This could also be, again, signifying that music and writing are hobbies for this person. Okay, I need some coffee. I'm sorry. If I can remember, I'll cut out me drinking. Okay. I found some K-cups at the back of my cupboard. I don't have a Keurig machine, but I had them as like emergency stash if I forgot my coffee at home, because my work had a Keurig machine and I forgot to order coffee. And so when I found those at the back of the cabinet, I was like, hallelujah. So I like just stabbed the tops of them and like poured them into like my canister that I have. And I had exactly enough to make my 2 cups of coffee this morning. I was so happy. Can't even tell you. Okay, so pile 1. What else do we need to know about your future spouse? Pile 1. Oh, I love this. I achieve with integrity. I don't know if I've ever seen this card come out before. I love this so much because this tells us a lot of important things, as simple as this card is. 1, your future spouse does something for their career that shines a light outward to other people. There's something that they do for their job that is inspiring or healing or helpful to other people. Also, even though they are very successful in their career, definitely picking that up. If they haven't reached the full pinnacle of success, they're definitely well on their way by the time that they meet you. This person is kind of like destined to be very wealthy and abundant and successful, because Spirit is sort of backing them. Spirit sees their work ethic, Spirit sees their good intentions, Spirit sees their greater vision, and I think regardless of whether they realize it or not, they do co-collaborate with the universe, and it's sort of like fate is betting on them, good fortune is betting on them. Like they think your future spouse has the ability to see it through and the dedication and the motivation to see it through. And so, yeah, I feel like they're going to be very blessed in their career, and I think that they do something in their career that is creative and difficult, traditionally speaking, to find success in. So I don't feel like they work in a field where everybody makes it, right? So this would really speak to them being a public figure if you were resonating with that message, but they definitely do something creative for their job where, you know, traditionally we would say that's impractical, but they are finding great success in that area. But they're still humble, and they still keep their code of ethics, and they may work, again, like especially if this involves a level of fame with the sun shining down and all the different people and them kind of being like the chosen one here, they still stick to their code of ethics, you know, they don't do shady things to get ahead, and that's why Spirit is blessing them with success and maybe even fame, you know, for some of them. Not everyone watching this, obviously, but if that is resonating, they're at least going to be well known and well respected in their field. Aw, I am kind. And I like how this is holding up the snake here and how the snake is wrapping around to the flame. Like even people who are difficult to be kind to, even people who maybe don't deserve kindness, your future spouse is still kind, still strives to be the bigger, better person. You know, they don't let other people trigger them to act out of character. yeah, they just do their best. They just do their best. And that is the smartest thing you can do if you're a creative person, just trying your best and just sitting down and working at that skill, whatever it is, every day. Because you can have all the raw talent in the world, but if you're such a perfectionist that you never get started, this may have been something they had to learn, given the fact that we had all that Capricorn energy. Capricorn can, not to the extent of Virgo, but Capricorn can sometimes be a little bit hard on themselves if they feel like they're not putting in enough work. But I think it's been to your future spouse's benefit. You know, like they really are like, you know, I'm just going to do my best, but I am going to show up and I am going to work at it every single day. And, you know, I may not be perfect or the best starting out, but I am going to develop my craft. And I think that's really benefited them, really in all areas of their life. Because it does, like it takes bravery, especially with not being held back by comparing yourself to others. You know, like when I started this YouTube channel, she wasn't the first. I think she was the second tarot reader I ever watched, but I've been watching the Gem Goddess for the longest time. And so when I started to create my channel, I, you know, like self-comparison is inevitable, but I couldn't let it stop me, right? And so instead I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna choose to be inspired by her because she has inspired me, and I'm not going to be like, well, I'm never gonna be as good enough as her. And even when she has talked about starting her channel, I really appreciate like her emotional vulnerability with that, because she was like very encouraging, you know, and open about talking about how much of a struggle it was for her in the beginning. And also, just as a side note, like if you are also a creative person and you're trying to make it work in something that's difficult, like if you're resonating with a lot of these messages, because we did get that message in the beginning about maybe you two mirror each other. So if this sounds like you as well, I think something she said really stuck with me. When she was talking about building subscribers, she said, you know, when you hit that first 1,000, you're going to think that the next 1,000 is just as hard, but that success compounds upon itself. So, you know, whereas before you had no one talking about you, now you have 1,000 people talking about you. So to get to 2,000 is actually going to be a lot easier. And then when you get to 2,000, to get to 3,000 is going to be a lot easier, and so on and so forth, because that success compounds because more people are noticing and talking about what you're doing, and that energy is going to gain momentum. So same thing for you all. If you're a creative person and you're trying to make it work, think about it in that way. Like your success, the energy is going to gain momentum the more you continue onward, okay? The more people who are noticing what you're doing and seeing it and talking about it and appreciating it, even on an energetic level. Okay, which archetype best represents your future spouse, please, Spirit? Which archetype best represents? Ah, I love this. We have the Mother, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, and joy in giving birth to life. And we have Healer, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to transform pain into healing. Now, doesn't matter, okay, if you're wanting a man or not and you're watching this reading. This to me is so in alignment with what we've been talking about, because this Mother card here, like they're nurturing their creativity here. They're giving the joy and giving birth to life. This reminds me of the Empress card in tarot, right? Like in tarot, the Empress card is always pregnant. And yes, that card talks about fertility, but it also talks about creativity in and of itself, the energy of creation. And so you can give birth to creative projects, right? You're creating something from nothing. And remember how we were saying before that what they're doing for their job creatively is healing to other people. And I think it's also healing to themselves, because they're taking the pain that they've experienced, transforming it into something beautiful, and then from that, other people are inspired by how they found purpose in the pain. And so and it feels good to be seen, right? I love sad songs. Like, I love melancholic, sad songs. Like, I like Lana Del Rey and Phoebe Bridgers. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And it's because you feel seen in the song. Someone else has gone through what you have gone through. And you don't feel so alone because someone else sees your experience. And so, yeah. Like, I feel like that is lining up very well with what your future spouse does for their work. And I think, or at least they do this for a passion project. Even if it's not their main stream of income, it will one day be their main stream of income. Because they are, again, going to find financial success with this. Also, I will say, given the fact that we've gotten so many career messages here, that is a dominant area of your future spouse's life. Or if this is a creative passion project that will one day turn into their work, it's still a major area of their life even now. They're putting so much of their heart and their soul into it. Okay, let's get an archetype that best represents how your future spouse will see you when you first meet versus when you're in a committed connection. So the first card, please, Spirit, their first meeting, how will their future spouse view pile 1? Which archetype will best represent how they view them at first meeting? We actually got 2 cards, which is cool. We've got loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor with the Knight. And we have exorcist, freeing yourself and others from destructive impulses. Oh my gosh, kind of like a white knight, right? They see you as someone who, oh man, I wonder if they see you as someone who is like saving them from repeating those karmic cycles. Like, they see you as someone who is such a departure from what they have known in the past. Like, they see you as someone who is finally good, you know, someone who will be loyal, someone who will have mutual romantic feelings, someone who has honor, someone who is trustworthy, and someone who is sort of exercising out, you know, kind of like those demons that they're like haunted by, you know, like that feeling of heartbreak that has plagued them is no longer. Because with you, they don't have to have that fear of repeating the past. Yeah, people have broken your future spouse's heart. They have broken your future spouse's heart, 100%. Now, if you feel like, again, you yourself right now are in a karmic connection and you kind of been wanting someone to come in and save you, this could be that your future spouse is viewing you as someone they could be a white knight for. So if it resonates more, if you flip it, that is okay as well. You know, it's a general reading, so it could be one way or the other, depending upon your specific situation. Okay, how will your future spouse view you, pile 1, once you're in a stable, committed connection? Pile 1. Aww. This is, okay, y'all, this is like one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite. It's actually probably my second favorite archetype card in this whole deck. I love the companion, especially in a love reading. It says loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. This card reminds me so much of the famous painting of the lovers. I think that's what it's called. I don't know the exact title, but I'm sure you guys know the painting I'm talking about, where it looks like they're sharing a yellow blanket and they're like wrapped up in each other. That's what this reminds me of. But yeah, it's like the light has come back in with this connection. You know, they finally found someone that can be a true partner, that can be their equal match. Also with companion, again, it feels like you two are also friends, like you share a lot in common, or you just get each other. You're very supportive and nurturing towards one another, and you act in the other person's best interest, which works out well because they are also acting in your best interest. So everything is very balanced and harmonious here. And also with the companion, this is kind of like, especially if they're a highly creative person, this is actually reminding me of a reading that I watched on Stargirl. I know that's not her channel name anymore. I don't know her new channel name. But Stargirl, the Practical Witch, she had a soulmate reading recently where this card came out. I was watching it for myself, actually. And this card came out, and the way that she explained it, it was like, you're this person's muse. And they're very artistic, and you yourself are also creative, but that's why you are inspiring to them. If you guys feel called to, it's a recent video. I don't know the exact title of it, but she has a soulmate reading, and you guys did choose the Lovers, which is a card of soulmates. When you finish this reading, if you feel called, go over to her channel and check it out. I'm sure if you look up Stargirl the Practical Witch, her channel should still come up. I know it's under a different name now. But yeah, the soulmate reading, and just see if you happen to select the same group that has this card, because that would really, really confirm the idea that you will be a muse to them. You will be a source of inspiration to them. Again, if you feel called to. If you don't, that's okay. But that really just reminded me of that reading I watched. Okay. All right, let's move this to the side and get this deck over here. I like to use this deck for themes, so let's find out some themes of this connection, like major themes of this connection. So who will you marry? What do we need to know? Please, Spirit. Pile 1, major themes in their marriage and the overall connection. Pile 1. Oh wow. Fell on the floor. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, we have harmony. I just said it's going to be very harmonious. As I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. I love how it says, as I create. Like, I really feel like both of you may be very creative people, and you may just really enjoy, like, creating separately, coming back together, sharing each other's work, giving each other feedback, being supportive of one another. You know, like, you may be the first person to hear their songs, or the first person to read their poem, or the first person to check out their screenplay, you know, things like that. And you may be sort of like the tastemaker for them, you know, like if you don't like it, they're not going to put it out kind of thing. Like, they really, really value your opinion. And if you're a creative person yourself, you know, that may be a mutual thing here. And then with your other card, we have Harvest. As the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all. Yeah, this connection could be coinciding with one of you or both of you getting your first, like, really big break, you know, getting your first wave of, like, major success. And I also just feel like you're going to be very fruitful and abundant in this connection, because you are so supportive of one another. Because this person, they put so much into their work, so they need someone who's going to be understanding of when they need to maybe travel for work, or when they need to take some time out and go work on their creative project. You know, they need someone who's going to be understanding of how much time and energy and effort they put into their work, and not to take it personally. And, you know, if you need that as well, they're going to give that same energy back to you. And this could also be talking about, you know, if you want children, that could be a possibility in this connection as well, in this marriage. And I think also you're just going to be, again, like, very wealthy, very abundant in your material resources. So you're going to have a nice house, nice car, nice furniture, that kind of stuff, money for travel. Let's see. Yeah, I just feel like there's a real easiness to this connection because you have that solid foundation, because you have a basis of friendship as well as, you know, a romantic partnership. Bottom of the deck, we have letting go. Allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. And it's the 6. See, to like welcome in the soulmate connection, they've got to let go of the karmic. And this may be your energy or both of you. But things have to be let go of, you know, whether it's codependency, a karmic connection, you know, that workaholic energy we were picking up. Because yes, like they do need time to devote to their work, but not to an extreme where they're working to burn out, right? Like things still have to be in balance, things still have to be harmonious. And again, like you could know this person from childhood, given that we have these repeating sixes now. And also that's confirming a soulmate connection. Okay, let's get some more cards for you all. This is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be our last oracle deck. So can we get some astrological information, please, Spirit, about this marriage? Can we get some astrological information about this marriage? Yeah, it's been really nice just doing an open-ended reading. Like, I feel so peaceful. Pile 1. Sagittarius, the Voyager. Yeah, this person could really love to travel. They could also be quite philosophical as well. It says enthusiastic, philosophical, just said that. Independent, generous, ethical. We talked about that earlier, them having a strong moral compass. Seeking, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, honest, bareback, unbridled, experimental, lucky, boundless, traveling, risk-taking, tactless, and self-righteous. I definitely feel like with Sagittarius energy, this is someone who has a bit of a restless energy. So with the fire signs, Aries is the spark that starts the fire. They're the initiator, right? They're cardinal fire. Leo is fixed fire, like a campfire. It stays in one place. It doesn't move. Okay? Sagittarius is the heat that people feel, the heat that scatters from the fire. It's mutable fire. It spreads. It doesn't stay in one place like Leo energy. And so, you may notice with your future spouse, they're quite restless. You know, they're not the type of person who wants to stay home every night. You know, they want to get out, they want to explore, and they may struggle with feeling restricted or tied down. Like when they need their space, when they want to travel, when they want to go places, they need to go. But with that companion card, I kind of feel like as restless as they are, they always want you by their side. So they may want to travel with you. They may want to take you with them on these adventures. And you may not always be able to go, you know, depending upon what you do for your career. Or, you know, like if you're a stay-at-home parent, you may be like, I can't go with you. And so that may be something that you two have to work through, you know, because they may, again, just always want you with them. But I definitely feel like the happy-go-lucky, like this person's really emotionally resilient. And with Sagittarius energy too, it's very blunt, honest energy. Sagittarius people tend to say how they feel. Now, other placements in their birth charts may temper that, but they definitely tend to be outspoken, which is good because you won't have to worry about where you stand with this person. Okay, we have North Node Destiny. So I kind of feel like this could be signaling again that you two are going to be an inspiration or at least a source of support and helping one another achieve like your career goals, your creative goals and ambitions. The North Node Destiny, like this person is the perfect person in the eyes of spirit to help support you in where you're needing to go. And so look at where your North Node is. My North Node is actually in Sagittarius, but look on your birth chart and see where your North Node is, and that could give you a major clue about who this person is and the kind of influence they're meant to have on you, because I do think both of you are meant to help each other get in alignment with the North Node and get away from whatever placement your South Node is in. And for those of you who don't know, your South Node is always going to be the opposite sign to your North Node. So like my North Node is in Sagittarius, my South Node is thus in Gemini. Okay. And then we have the numinous, mystery, the unknown. Okay, you guys again could have quite a strong psychic connection with one another even now. This could also signal that they have an interest in the occult, or that you will open them up to that. This could also signify that this person is unknown to you now, or it's a mystery about, if it is someone from childhood, it's a mystery about who is returning from your past. I do think with the Tower card that we got in the very beginning, it could be quite unexpected how they come into your life, and you're not meant to know too much about it at this time. This could, again, with the shadow work being here, be talking about healing that they need to do before you guys come into union. And then bottom of the deck, we have the 9th house, which is Sagittarius again. So seeking foreign travel. This person could be in a different country or from a different cultural background than you, or they're from, you know, like maybe if you grew up in a lower socioeconomic status, maybe they come from money. You know, there could just be some sort of difference there. They also could have a degree in higher education. They could be well educated. You could have a difference in religion as well, or a difference in faith, and that's why maybe you two are so interesting to each other. This can also talk about going on a spiritual quest, so your connection to spirit could strengthen as a result of this marriage as well. Okay, put this to the side. So let's get your grab bag first. So this includes, you may want to lower the volume on your earbuds. I don't know how loud this is. This includes physical traits, love languages, possible career paths for your future spouse, all that good stuff. So pile 1, who is your future spouse? What do we need to know? Pile 1. Okay. So they could have an unusual hair color. This could also signify that they just have dyed hair. So their hair is not, they could have like highlights or something like that, but their hair is likely not their natural hair color is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Okay, they're a good cook. They're going to be very affectionate towards you. Oh my gosh, y'all. Loves music, musician. If you are resonating with that message, you have it confirmed. Love that. Okay, they could be messy or disorganized. I know that's kind of a stereotype, but I mean, I have found that to be true of like artistic, creative people. They can be kind of messy. And then we have, they're on the thinner side. So in terms of body type, they're on the thinner side. Okay, let's look at your matchsticks. So pile 1, this could also be loud. Pile 1, your future spouse. Okay, it says, create a relationship bucket list. Is that not like so in alignment with Sagittarius energy? Love it. We have act like Taurus in your own city or town. Also Sagittarius energy, like let's go explore, let's have an adventure. And then we have a tickle fight. Yeah, I think there is like a silly, playful side to this person. Okay, so this is a message from your future spouse's higher self. What do they want you to know right now? And this is going to be the card that ends your reading. So it says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Wow, that is perfect with your Lover's card. Remember how I said like you're going to retain your individuality, but when you come together, it's going to be beautiful. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Even the way they're wrapped up in each other reminds me of that companion card and that famous artwork that I was talking about. I'm pretty sure it's The Lovers. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the painting. Again, I could be wrong. Okay, so pile 1, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel thus far. Your encouragement means the world to me, and it really does help, like, you know, keep me going on this process. Yeah, and it's cool to see our community grow, of course. Someone in the comments had said that they connected with another subscriber, and you know, now they have like a whole friendship going. So, you know, talk to each other in the comments. Like, it would be really cool, you know, to develop friendships, especially with people who are in the same pile as you. Like, if you guys are going through similar things, you know, that could be kind of helpful, you know, maybe not in the love readings, but, you know, on some of the, you know, personal development readings or career readings, you know, if someone's in the same pile as you, they're going through the same energies as you. So, you know, could be a good potential for friendship. But anyway, I don't know why I felt called to say that, but I felt called to say that in particular for this group. So pile 1, this was your reading. Also, be on the lookout for the 7 days or 5 days straight of future spouse readings. I'm really going to try for 7. I'm going to try for 7. You guys deserve it. But I will see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 1. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So the love token that I chose intuitively for your group is good for a date night. So this tells me that you and your future spouse will really prioritize your date night. So you will have a set date night every week that you commit to, or it's just sort of this mutual understanding that no matter how busy your lives get, you will make time for date night, okay? You will make time to go out one-on-one, spend time with each other, and connect. This could also signal that quality time is a love language for you or them. Okay, so we have the Chariot for your group. I really like this one because you see how it looks like the roots are growing down here, but then if you turn it, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like they both sort of spread together, and then there's sort of this infinite circle here that's protecting them. And so it kind of feels like, to me, with your marriage, it's sort of like, you know, when I grow, you grow. You know, like we both celebrate, we both support one another's success. And if we're going to be successful as a couple, we have to support one another's individual endeavors, right? And so it does feel like together you're meant to accomplish a lot. Even if you're not working together necessarily, that mutual support is the fertile soil for you both to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish, because the Chariot talks about success. It also talks about travel and movement, so this could signal that, you know, this starts off as long distance, or, you know, one of you have to move to be with the other person, you know, once you two decide to settle down, that kind of thing. Maybe one of you gets a job offer and you're like, you know, I don't want us to break up, and so you decide to move with them, you know, or vice versa. And this also is the card of Cancer, and this sort of looks like the moon a little bit, right? And so I definitely feel like this is going to be a very emotionally supportive connection. You're definitely going to also be able to emotionally support and understand one another. You know, if you think about the phases of the moon, even when you two aren't saying everything, it's like they're picking up on your nonverbal cues, right? Like they can just energetically sense how you're feeling, and the same, you know, goes for you with them. So everything feels very balanced here, and even when things are hidden, you know, you don't have to tell them everything that you're going through. They will still just hold space and support you and let you share when you're ready to share. And I feel like you give that same energy back to them. This feels very nurturing. There's definitely a divine feminine quality to this connection. And, you know, just like with the phases of the moon, you guys will go through different cycles together, but it seems like you'll have a lasting marriage because this here is connected, right? There's no breaks. So to me, this signals there won't be any separations. There won't be any challenges that push you to divorce from what I can see at this time. Like, it seems like it's going to be a long-lasting marriage. And I also feel like if you want children, this kind of looks like a family tree and roots growing outward. So yeah. And I also kind of feel like from like one small seed, a tree can grow, right? Like, you two definitely have the ability to, yeah, create the life that you want together. Okay. So I chose the Everyday Witch Tarot for your group. And I kind of feel like there's a real simplicity here to your connection in the sense of you two will really enjoy your home life together. And if you have children, you're going to enjoy being parents together and raising your children. It's like you two really both appreciate the small, simple, quiet moments in life, you know, and you really enjoy just being together. There's an Instagram reel going around where it says like people don't appreciate the value in being in your own space, being in your own home, eating snacks, minding your own business. Like, that kind of feels like the energy of this connection. Like, you know, as long as we're together and, you know, we're at home together, there's a lot here about the home. You know, like, the home is a safe haven. So no matter how crazy things get in the outside world, like, we have each other, and that's all that matters. We have our family. You know, even if you don't have children, you know, you have your pets together, or if you as a unit, you two together are a family. Pile 1 had this energy of friendship, and you all have an energy of family, 100%. We have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I really feel like just the everyday moments together, you're gonna just find so much value in it, find so much meaning in it. The Queen of Swords. The Two of Swords. Interesting. The Ten of Pentacles. Yep. I actually want to clarify this Two of Swords. Can we clarify the Two of Swords here? The Ace of Swords. Spirit is a little bit cheeky sometimes. Okay. So with the Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords clarified by the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles, I just want to make sure you can see everything. I don't think that you can. That's better. Okay. The Ace of Swords. So I do feel like some of you, if you are resonating, like you yourself feel like you're in a divine feminine energy, you would identify yourself as the Queen of Swords or the Queen of Pentacles. I kind of feel like this is sort of, this has the energy of whoever is the divine feminine in this connection. You're gonna feel a little bit torn. Like, it almost feels like the head and the heart. Like, maybe your heart is really wanting this Ten of Pentacles. It's really wanting this family life, this home and family. Because the Ten of Pentacles isn't just a card about having money. It's a card about wealth. And so wealth is more than just money, right? It's the family. It's the home life. And so it's like that's what the heart wants. Like, the Queen of Pentacles is resonating with this Ten of Pentacles. That's what the heart wants. But then this Queen of Swords, she's very logical, very rational, very practical. She doesn't follow her heart. She follows what her mind is telling her. And so the divine feminine in this connection, whether it's you or your future spouse, is like, should I give in to this? Or should I follow my heart, or should I follow my mind? And so that's where this indecision with the Two of Swords is. But what ultimately the sword that's being chosen here is the heart, is the Ten of Pentacles. So there's going to be a moment when you're getting to know this person or you're meeting this person where you feel, or your future spouse feels, whoever the divine feminine is, feels torn. Should I follow my heart on this or should I follow my mind? Your heart is wanting this Ten of Pentacles. You know, your heart doesn't just want money. Your heart wants home and family and togetherness and making memories as a family. Again, whether you choose to have children or not, your family could just be you and your future spouse and your pets, or you and your future spouse together as a couple. But this is what your heart wants. And so the heart is going to win. Or, you know, again, this is your future spouse, but the heart is going to win. Because you can even see here with the Queen of Pentacles, like the cat has kittens, right? It's family. It's family. It's togetherness. This is what she wants. She wants someone to share in her garden with her. She doesn't want to have to keep sitting alone in her garden. She wants her partner. I will also say, like, if you're resonating with that divine feminine energy, your future spouse is likely the King of Pentacles. Like, he's likely an equal match to you. So this is divine masculine energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, someone who's like really down to earth and practical and really like fun, loving kind of energy, and someone who, you know, like has a stable career, someone who is, you know, organized in their day-to-day life, someone who works hard, but also enjoys luxury and the finer things in life as well, you know, like food and other things in relation to indulgence, that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, so I definitely feel like there's going to be a moment of indecision here. Let's see if there's, like, let's get some more tarot for you. I just want to get some more messages. We've got the Three of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Six of Wands. Okay. It's almost like for some of you, you feel like you have to always choose between what is practical and what your heart wants, or between your career or like personal goals and love. And Spirit is saying, like, you can have it all. Like, you can have your cake and eat it too. Like, it doesn't always have to be a choice. And again, this could be your future spouse's energy. And then with the Page of Swords, this could be signaling a child that you all have together. Like, as a result of you making this decision and marrying this person, you will have this child. So this could be someone who is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. You know, a kid who's really smart, a kid who is maybe a little bit outspoken as well, and a kid who has a strong sense of self. I will definitely say that. And a kid who definitely goes by their mind. Your bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles. So some of you really do think it's a choice between your career and love, and it doesn't have to be. And again, this could be your future spouse's energy. With the Two of Wands, like, you're really contemplating it. And for some of you, it's because being with your future spouse involves some kind of sacrifice. So that could be like what we were picking up on, like, I really like my job, but if I want to be with this person, I might have to move to be with them, and that's a big step, and so you may hesitate. But in fact, if you do move with your future spouse, you will be finding greater success. The Six of Wands talks about victory, and the Three of Cups talks about celebration. So there's going to be a lot to celebrate in terms of success, but you do have to take that leap of faith. You do have to follow your heart. What is your heart telling you? I watched a reading recently that said that the richest signs in the world are actually Pisces. Like, most of the wealthiest people in the world are actually Pisces. And like, you would think it would be an earth sign, right? But actually, you know, it's Pisces, a water sign. You know, so like, following your heart actually can bring greater success. And I always say, like, the Wheel of Fortune, fortune favors the brave, right? Like, fortune favors those who bet on Spirit. like, you know, like I trust spirit to catch me. I have faith. So I'm going to do what is maybe riskier, but is in alignment with my heart. It may be impractical, but my heart is calling me towards that. And spirit is rewarding you following your heart, following your intuition. And with the chameleon here, there's going to be a big transformation that happens in your life as a result of, you know, choosing to be with this person. With the Three of Cups, this could talk about meeting your future spouse at a public event. Could be an event where you or them is being celebrated. This could also signal that you two are gonna have a wide social circle. You're gonna have a lot of mutual friends in common. Or like if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, you will meet more friends through your connection with this person. For some of you, and this is a very specific message, it could be a third party situation. You know, the Two of Cups talks about a connection between two people. The Three of Cups can sometimes talk about, you know, a third party situation where there's a third party involved. And so maybe that's where the indecision is that you have to leave someone to be with this person, or your future spouse has to let go of someone to be with you. Very specific message, may not resonate for everyone, but it did come up, so I did want to mention it. Okay. Let's get into what deck do I want to use next. Let's use this one. And I'm going to split this deck in half because it's a little bit too thick to shuffle easily. All right, so pile 2, your connection with your future spouse. What do we need to know? I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. I'm sorry. If I remember, I'll cut out my drinking so you don't have to hear it. Okay. I want to drink it while it's still warm. All right, pile 2, your relationship with your future spouse. What do we need to know? We have jealous, envy, green eye, and paranoia. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely a connection where people could be jealous of your marriage because you have the 10 of Pentacles. So people on the outside would be like, you know, it's not people who don't know how to be happy for other people. You know, maybe like, why does pile 2 get to have a man or a woman, a husband or a wife who is faithful to them? You know, why do they have to have children who are, you know, gifted and, you know, talented and smart and, you know, who make straight A's or whatever? Why do they get to be rich and wealthy and have a nice home and have a happy family? Like, why do they get to have all these things? This could also be picking up on that third party situation where, you know, there could be some jealousy involved. Not going to resonate for everyone, but yeah, it is coming through, so I have to say it. And I also feel like maybe everyone has their shadow side, right? So it could be that maybe you or your future spouse gets a little bit jealous and you kind of have the attitude of like, you're mine, I belong to you, we belong to each other. Nobody else needs to be looking at you, talking to you, and flirting with you in a way that's disrespectful, you know, to the connection. You know, not to say you can't have friends or you can't go out or you can't talk to anybody. No, I'm not picking it up as like that, but just sort of the idea of like, you know, we belong to each other. No one else needs to be getting in the middle of that, you know, that kind of energy. Someone requested a future spouse's shadow self reading, so make sure you have the notification bell turned on because I will be doing that reading. I don't know if people are gonna watch it or not, but it was requested and I thought it was a unique idea, and I've never watched a reading like that, so I was like, oh, I don't mind filming that, I'll do that. All right, we have spring. So the months of March, April, and May could be significant to this connection. This could be when you meet this person, this could be when you get engaged, or when you get married. Okay, so take what resonates. I also just feel like with the energy of spring, this makes me think of renewal and transformation, right? And so just this idea that together you two will be very abundant. Together your lives will change dramatically as a result of meeting, which makes sense. You know, we had that message of travel, right? Of long distance. And so this idea that, you know, for whoever moves to be with the other person, or if you guys move to a new place together, you know, your whole lives are going to change, right? Like when you move somewhere, your whole day-to-day routine is different. Okay, we have music. Your song signs through music and musician. Some of you could have been drawn to pile 1 as well. Pile 1 had a lot of messages about music. So you could be getting signs from your future spouse's higher self through music. Your future spouse could be a musician or someone who really loves music as a hobby. They love to listen to music. You guys could also have a song, like a couple song, that you get really hyped about. This could also be signifying that you're already like in vibrational alignment with this person. And so, you know, like March isn't that far away. So like if you were resonating with meeting them in the springtime, you know, it's not too far away. I'm filming this in November. This will post in December, so it won't be too far off. Ah, we've got soulmates, strong connection, romance, and friendship. And then we have cycle, ending past patterns. Yeah, we were picking up that with like spring and renewal. And so letting go of the past, right? And so, yeah, I feel like if you're worried about attracting another karmic connection, like if you've experienced that a lot, you don't have to worry about that with this person. And I also think as well with the soulmate card, that really speaks to having a psychic connection to them now, and that could be why you're getting signs about them through music. So these messages came up in pile 1 as well. So yeah, if you were drawn to pile 1, consider watching pile 1. If you weren't, don't worry about it. Aw, we have true love, divine union. Okay, I love this. And I know some of you may be like, oh, well, of course I'm gonna marry my soulmate. Of course I'm gonna marry my true love. But not everybody does, okay? And divorce happens like, what, 50% of the time in the US? So, I mean, be grateful that you got the soulmate and the true love card, because that is incredible. No wonder people are jealous of your relationship. Like, good for you, pile 2. Okay, any other messages that we need to know, please, Spirit, about pile 2's connection here? Perspective, look from a different angle, change, and open mind. I feel like this is asking you to keep an open mind about the changes that are going to occur in your life as a result of meeting this person. It definitely feels like there's a clear, oh my gosh, bottom of the deck. We have long distance, relocation, and moving away. Oh my goodness, yes. It definitely feels like there's a clear demarcation, like my life before this person and my life after. Like this isn't just like, oh, I'm in a stable, long-lasting connection, I'm gonna get married to this person. It's more than that. Like there is a lot of change coming about in your life as a result of meeting and deciding to be with this person, okay? Because it does definitely feel like it's long distance. You chose the Chariot, right? It feels like you guys are going to maybe have a change in your career, a change in your social circle, a change in your living situation, a change in your environment, depending upon how far away you move. You know, even in the United States, like there's a big difference between living in the South and living in the North, like in terms of weather, in terms of like political climate, in terms of even just like the way that people speak, like the accents are different. Even like, you know, I've lived in Virginia, I've lived in South Carolina, I've lived in North Carolina, I've lived in Georgia. I lived like almost in Florida, but not quite, like right there on the Georgia-Florida line. And I've lived in different places within those states. Like I've lived in, my stepdad was in the Navy, so there was like some moving around. But you know, I've lived in the mountains in Virginia, I've lived by the water, and every move brought about so many changes, and your social environment, like places to eat, the way that people speak, political beliefs, like everything is so different. And that's like you know, within the same region of the US. So, you know, if you're moving to another country or you're moving across country, even if you're moving to a different city within the same state, it can be still a drastic change. So I think Spirit is just saying, like, be open to the change. And if your future spouse is moving to be with you, be understanding that it is a big change for them, and, you know, be respectful of that and give them some time to adjust. You know, regardless of, like, you know, who is moving here, it's a big change. Okay. Now, let's get into what deck do I want to use next? Let's do this one. Okay. So pile 2's future spouse, please Spirit, what do we need to know? Pile 2's future spouse, please Spirit, what do we need to know? Oh my gosh, stop falling on the floor. We have, oh, I hold purity in high esteem. Okay, this person takes care of themselves energetically. Like, you see the alignment of the chakras. Like, this person, even if they're not spiritual, are very mindful of attuning to their emotional needs, checking in with themselves. Like, this is someone who likes to be in their own energy. They, you know, they could be very empathic, so they're aware of the fact that other people influence them energetically, so they may take time out just to reconnect with themselves, you know, do some self-care, cleanse themselves energetically. Again, even if they're not spiritual, they'll still be doing things that, you know, accomplish the same goal of, you know, cleansing their energy. And they also are good about making decisions from their heart space. And we have, I honor animals with reverence. This person is a huge animal lover. They could have a pet that they are obsessed with, you know, like I'm obsessed with Miss Gracie May. They could have a pet that they really, really love and treat like their fur baby, you know, like a pet that feels like family to them. They could be a vegetarian or a vegan. They could volunteer at their local animal shelter. They could, you know, like, I definitely feel like, I don't know, I don't really see a difference in, like, the value of my life versus the value of, like, my cat. Like, I know that may be, like, a controversial thing, but, like, I don't think that my life is inherently more valuable than hers. Like, I just love her, you know what I mean? Like, she's my baby, she's my family. Yeah, and so they could also have a lot of animals in their spiritual team as well. They could have, like, animal spirit guides. Again, whether they're aware of that or not, you know, that could be someone who, you know, they go over to someone's house and the dog immediately loves them, is attached to them, and never leaves their side. You know what I mean? Like, animals are just drawn to them. Or, you know, people who sit outside and, like, there'll be like tons of bees, like, buzzing around, and they never bother this person. Which I think bees tend to mind their own business in general. Like, I feel like people, I don't know, I feel like bees don't really sting you unless you're acting crazy. But just in general, I think you guys get what I'm saying, that, like, animals just vibe with this person. Like, animals just like this person's energy, okay? All right. I regard all altars with respect. This person respects differences in religion. So if you're of a different religious background than this person, or you have very different spiritual beliefs than this person is still going to be very respectful and understanding. This person doesn't judge anyone else for their beliefs, and they're quite open. Like, as long as your beliefs aren't, which I'm not saying this about you, pile 2, but as long as someone's beliefs aren't hurtful or harmful to someone else, this person's like, you know, love and light, like, let live and let love, like, you know, like, whatever you believe is your business, you know, it's not my business. You know, as long as it's not harmful to anybody else, you do you, is kind of this person's energy, which is wonderful. I'm feeling called to get one more card for your group. Which, this is kind of like their good quality. So the fact that I'm feeling called to get another card tells me that your future spouse is a really good person. I invoke laughter. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Yeah, this person can be quite comedic. This person will make you laugh a lot. This person's very funny, playful, silly. Yeah, I feel like this person has a really nice lighthearted energy to them that you're really going to appreciate, especially if you get really serious or in your feelings a lot. You know, this person can bring you back to center really easily, get you out of your head. You know, if you're a more anxious person, I think they have, you know, a good way of like bringing you back to center because they're able to bring themselves back to center. You know, I don't feel like a lot of stuff triggers this person out of their energy. You know, I feel like they're really good about cultivating their own peace. And actually, I think that the bottom of the deck was I relate in peace. Yeah, like this person's peace is the most important thing to them. You know, like nothing's gonna get them out of their energy for long. You know, they're really good about bringing themselves back to center. Okay, so now we will get the archetype that best represents your future spouse. Which archetype best represents your future spouse? Pile 2. I love this. We have guide, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. This card always gives me hermit energy. Not surprised because you chose the chariot, which has Cancer energy, and Cancer always makes me think of a home buddy. So this is someone who likes being at home, maybe is more introverted, likes being on their own. Oh, there's a cute little squirrel outside. Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted. This could be someone who has like mystic energy. Again, like someone who is very wise, but they don't force their wisdom on other people. You know, they don't tell people what to do. They have like a very gentle nature to them. They're very emotionally intelligent and understanding. Again, they have a real respect for nature, for animals. This could be someone who just is able to kind of reset themselves energetically by just spending time outside, even in like quiet meditation or reflection, or taking like a mindful walk outside. It's a very gentle approach with this person. But yeah, I feel like they just really are very wise. They give great advice, you know, when they feel called to do so. Very spiritually aligned, and yeah, regardless of whether they are open to it or not, they definitely have a connection with the divine and their third eye. So they may not be awoken to that yet, but they definitely do have psychic abilities, regardless of whether they're aware of it or not. I think this person energetically also picks up on whether people are, you know, a good vibe for them or not. You know, like they could be, you know how this happens to me a lot actually. Like I'll meet someone and I don't know why, I can't explain it, I just don't feel a good vibe. And so I just kind of hold back, you know, I'm a little bit reserved when I meet new people anyway. And you know, I just kind of hold back. I'm like, you know, people show themselves eventually for who they are. So I just hold back, you know, reserve judgment, and we'll see how this goes. But I'm not gonna fully invest in this person or open up to this person until I get a good reading on this, right? But like initially I'm not picking up a good vibe and I don't know why. And sure enough, every time that happens, that person ends up showing their true colors and my intuition is confirmed. And yeah, they are not someone that I should associate with because, you know, they're just operating at a lower level. You know, they're just a little bit shady, a little bit dishonest, you know, just doing things that, you know, morally I don't vibe or agree with. So not the kind of person that I want around me. And so this happens a lot in workplace situations, I've noticed. But yeah, so it could be a thing with your future spouse where they just say, you know, I'm not picking up a good vibe from that person. And you know, you're like, but they're so nice, they're so friendly, blah, blah, blah. And your future spouse is just like, nope, not picking up a good vibe, I'm sorry. And sure enough, like, you know, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, the truth comes to the light and you look at your future spouse and you're like, man, you called it. You were right about them. You were right. I shouldn't have trusted that person, you know, that kind of thing. You also could be the same way yourself. And so like you guys are both just going to be like, you know, very protective of your family and your home because you guys are both just really good about saying like, this person doesn't have good energy, we don't need to associate with that person. Okay. All right, so let's see here. Now we're gonna find out which archetype best represents how your future spouse will see you when you two first meet. So which archetype best represents pile 2, how their future spouse will view them when they first meet, please, Spirit. That was fast. We have Avenger, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. You guys are good people, man. Okay, so your future spouse is going to view you as someone who is very fair, honest, someone who maybe is into like social justice causes. They're going to see you as someone also who is like well-traveled, or someone who has a good understanding of the world. Like you see like the map and the cape here. They could definitely like how passionate you are about, you know, again, like things that you view as right versus things that you view as wrong. They definitely see you as someone who is trustworthy, and I think also someone who will balance out their energy as well. Okay. Now let's see how your future spouse will view you once you two are in a committed relationship. We have the Prince. Romantic charm and potential for power. Okay, again, like your gender doesn't matter if you're watching this, but your future spouse will see you as someone who is very romantic. They may see you as someone that they can build, like again, long-term financial stability with. They could see you as someone who has the potential to like grow into like a king or queen energy. They could see you as someone that they want to give like their rose to. This always makes me think of the Bachelor TV show. They could also see you as someone who is well dressed and very stylish. They could also see you again as someone that they could see as like their partner for like, you know, your home is your castle. So someone that they could see as like a partner for building a home and a family with, because I do think of royalty as like a legacy. So who can I build a legacy with? Okay. I do think your future spouse wants to be a parent. I will say that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I do feel like your future spouse wants children. Okay. Pile 2, what else do we need to know about this marriage? Pile 2. Yeah, they definitely see you as someone who's very charismatic. Again, you may not see yourself that way, but they see you as that way. I feel like they just really love to talk to you. Oh my gosh, justice is coming up a lot. I definitely feel like you two share the same like values or the same political beliefs. Like I feel like you'll have very similar or even the same spiritual beliefs, but there's definitely an alignment there with what you two think of as right versus what you two think of as wrong. Like you two are in alignment with that, and I think you both really value what is fair and what is honest. I think both of you have like good karma going into this connection as well. And then children is coming up as well. So again, like this, I do think your future spouse wants children. And I think they could probably see you as someone who would be a great parent. Yeah, if you're not resonating with that, that could be a discussion that you have to have with your future spouse, or maybe that's just a message for someone else. You could also change your mind when you meet this person, you know? Like, I don't know. Speaking as someone who 100% never wanted children, and now that I'm older, I actually think I would like to be a mother. I actually think I would love it, to be honest. But that's a huge shift. Like I 100% never wanted, I didn't even want to get married when I was younger. And I'm talking about younger as in like my early 20s. So now that I'm in my late 20s, I'm 29, I'm like, you know, right there at 30. Now I'm thinking like, oh, I actually think I would like to be married. I think I would like to have children. That's a huge change. So speaking from personal experience, sometimes what you want can change like as you get older. Okay. we have light and love. I literally said that. They're like, you know, light and love, you know, whatever you believe, you do you, boo. Like what we were picking up with the, I regard all altars with respect card. Like, yeah, 100%. This person is like light and love, you know? I feel like this person's energy is just very healing to the collective. Like your future spouse has a very like warm, comforting, nurturing kind of energy. I think people just feel really safe opening up to your future spouse. So your future spouse could be someone who would work really well as a therapist, or they just have the energy of someone who would make a good therapist. You know, someone who's really calm, really soothing, someone that you just feel safe with and you're not sure why. They could have like a softer, sweeter voice even, or something about their physical appearance isn't intimidating, you know? They have a softness to them that I think people are really drawn to. And again, it kind of feels like this person, yes, energy healing. Even if this person, again, wouldn't identify themselves as a spiritual person, they do have this connection to spirit. And again, you see the chakras are aligned here. I feel like just this person's presence is healing to other people. There's just something about it. This person could be a tarot reader, or they could be into oracle cards. Yeah, I definitely feel like this person is into the occult. Like, I feel like we've gotten enough messages now to safely say this person is into the occult, or is at least aware of stuff like this. Or if you introduce this to this person, they will like run with it. They'll actually discover and awaken to those psychic abilities and, you know, fall in love with tarot and oracle cards and, you know, energy healing, you know, energy work, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like they are absolutely like light and love all day long. Even the bottom of the deck is the healer card. So I definitely feel like they do something that is healing to other people, you know, whether it's physically healing like a doctor or, and you know, there's a lot of jobs in the medical community. There's physician assistant, nurse practitioner, physical therapist. Like there's so many jobs within the medical community. And then even like mental health, like we could picking up like therapist, counselor, but they could also be like a spiritual teacher or do something like yoga, you know, something like that that's very healing to people. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like if they're not doing it yet, they would be very, very good at it. Okay, let's use these cards to determine what will be the major themes of your marriage. What will be the major themes of your marriage? And let's shuffle these cards before we draw them. Okay, I'm sorry, that was probably a little loud for you all. Pile 2, major themes of your marriage. What do we need to know? Oh my gosh, safe home. Okay, I feel like I've said this over and over again, but home and family mean everything to this person. This person definitely has a Cancer placement somewhere. Like it may not be their sun or their moon or their rising, but it could be their Venus or their Mars. And I definitely feel like this person will be good about like interior design and decorating. Like this person knows how to create just the most comfortable, beautiful, lovely home, okay? And I definitely feel like, again, like this person probably wants to have children. They want to make memories. They want a sense of togetherness. We got Justice again. This has come up over and over and over again. Your person could also work within the legal profession. So they could be a lawyer. They could be, you know, like even like a probation officer. They could do something. They could be a social worker. Social worker can work in the medical field. As someone who's like graduating with a degree in social work, I feel like people don't understand how much social workers can do. Like most social workers actually work as private therapists. They can also work within the criminal justice system as an advocate. They can work in the medical fields, helping people with resources and being a support system for people. They can work in behavioral health. You know, you can do a lot with a degree in social work. And so Yeah, I feel like your future spouse is also just very passionate about certain things. So maybe they're very passionate about animal welfare, or they're really passionate, even just like protecting the rights of children as well. Like if they are, you know, someone who's working as a social worker, they could be working to, you know, protect children as well. Yeah, so they could do a lot of different things in terms of social justice, but I also feel like they just really have a strong belief in this. And I also feel like, again, like the scales are balanced, like their karma is good. Like this is someone who, you know, lives their life based upon a certain moral code. And yeah, you know, they carry themselves in a way that is honest and true. You know, this isn't a shady person who's dishonest and has terrible morals. You know, this is someone who holds themselves to a certain standard, and, you know, they try to do the right thing. They may not, you know, they're not perfect. They, you know, all of us, you know, do things that are wrong at times, but there's someone who knows how to apologize. There's someone who knows how to take accountability, and they do try their best to do the right thing, even if they don't always do the right thing. And again, this person's very connected to their heart. Okay. So pile two. Any astrological information we need to know about this marriage, this connection? We have Leo. Of course, I have to say it like that as a Leo myself. The Lover. Expressive, creative, loving, playful, warm, self-confident, flirtatious, glowing, oh, I skipped overt, bedazzling, extroverted, vital, guileless, egotistical, juicy, proud, not juicy, trusting, and excessive. So Leo rules the heart. And I was just saying this person is very connected to their heart. So I definitely feel like you guys are going to have so much fun together. Leo also rules the 5th house, which includes children. So again, we're getting a lot of repeating messages here. But Leo is also very creative energy. And so I definitely think about motherhood with that as well. But I just feel like this is someone that you can create both a fun but stable life with, because Leo is fixed energy. As fun and adventurous as Leo can be, it's fixed. And so like you can have that fun, playful side to your relationship, but you can also have a very stable foundation with it as well, because Leo is fixed energy. It's not going anywhere. Also with Leo, you think of King of the Jungle, and how I was saying this person sees you as an equal match, right? Someone that they can, you know, build a castle with, you know, build a legacy with. I also feel like this person will inspire you to be more confident with the Leo energy, because Leo energy is definitely kind of like a hype man. You know, fire sign energy in general, like we like to build people up. We like to encourage other people, especially in terms of creative pursuits. So yeah, I definitely feel like this person will help build your confidence, at least in some area, or encourage you to be more creative as well. And then with Pisces, the Mystic, I said I was picking up Mystic energy when we got the guide card. So definitely this person could be in a Mystic energy. I love the Mystic archetype, like just love it. But again, someone who likes to be in their own energy, someone who knows how to bring themselves back to center. And I also feel like this person can balance out their extroverted side with their introverted side. You know, like this person could be like a sociable introvert. You know, like yes, they can be chatty and talkative, but then they know when they need to pull back their energy and recharge. So I think they balance that out really well. With Pisces, they could have a lot of dreams about you before they meet you. You could also have a lot of dreams about this person. This could signal a psychic connection between you now. It says imaginative, compassionate, healing, empathetic, mystical, adoring, magical, allowing, dreamy, I'm not going to be able to say that word right now. I'm tripping up on my words too much. Spiritual, emotional, escapist. With escapist, you know, we all do that to an extent, but I think sometimes like some hobbies are a little bit escapist. Like, I was thinking about that. Like, I love to read so much, but it is like a form of escapism, right? And so like sometimes I have to watch myself, because I'll get into like a streak where I'm reading like a book a day, and I need to, like, you know, cut it back because I'm neglecting like other things I need to get done. So, you know, we did get the music card. So like maybe if music is a hobby for this person, they could get really lost in music, but they could just have like a creative hobby that they tend to get lost in a little bit. We have impractical, oceanic, self-pitying, and illogical. So yeah, sometimes Pisces can get a little bit in like the martyr or like victim mode. And I think given that we have the Leo energy here balancing it out, I don't see that as being like a major problem with your future spouse. Everyone has their flaws though, right? I am going to be doing a future spouse's shadow self reading. It was requested by a subscriber, so be on the lookout for that reading as well. Oh, we have North Node. Yeah, if you were drawn to pile 1, there may be some messages for you there, because you guys are getting a couple overlapping messages. So North Node Destiny, this person could be supporting you in moving towards your North Node. You could also be doing the same for them. So if you don't know the sign that your North Node is in, definitely take a look at your birth chart, because that could be a major hint about who this person is and the changes they will bring to your life. So that your North Node is associated with your soul's purpose, your life's mission, and how you're meant to develop in this lifetime. So the best analogy for this, and I apologize if I've talked about this before on my channel, but for those of you who don't know, your South Node is always the opposite sign to your North Node. And your South Node kind of represents essentially like, if you were an actor, this is the role that you've been typecast in, and you're really good at it. But in this reincarnation, you're meant to do something different. You know, we don't want you fulfilling the same role over and over and over again. We want you to do something different. So for example, my North Node is in Sagittarius, but my South Node is in Gemini. And I'm very comfortable in that Gemini energy because my moon sign is in Gemini, and that's where I feel safe. Right? But I'm not meant to do that. Like, you know, everyone already knows I'm great at that, but I need to move towards that Sagittarius North Node. And so look to where your North Node is in your birth chart, the sign and the house that it's in, because that will signal which, you know, the energy that you need to move towards in this lifetime to achieve your soul's purpose. I also have a soul's purpose reading already uploaded on this channel, so check that out as well if you feel called to do so. Okay, so now we're gonna get your grab bag messages. So this may be a little bit loud with the matchsticks as well, so if you need to lower the volume on your earbuds, go ahead and do so. But this right here, some of these are physical traits, some of these are love languages, careers, personality traits, so we'll see what we get. Pile 2, who is your future spouse? What does Pile need to know? Who will they marry? Who is their future spouse? Pile 2, please, Spirit. Pile 2. Okay. And I'm going to put these to the... Oh, I'm getting caught on the plants. Okay, I'm going to get these to the side, and then we'll read them out. Okay, they could be older than you. This could also signal that this person is really mature for their age, kind of like they're wise beyond their years. And if they're older than you, it doesn't have to mean that they're like 10 years older than you, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be anything significant, although it could be, you know, take what resonates. Love language of quality time. I picked that up in the very beginning with your love token, right? Quality time is important to your future spouse. They have great eyebrows. Love that. Okay, they have nice cheekbones. It could also signal that they have cute like dimples as well. Like maybe they have dimples when they smile. So they could have like chiseled cheekbones, or they could have like cute cheekbones. I mean, not cheekbones, cute cheeks. Like Selena Gomez has really cute cheeks. Okay. We have unusual hair color. That came out in pile 1 as well. So that could just signal, you know, maybe they have some highlights in their hair. Maybe they have hair that's, you know, like pink, blue, purple, whatever. Or they could just have dyed hair. Their hair color is not their natural hair color. So it doesn't have to be like anything super crazy or out there, but they just don't have their natural hair color. Okay. And then we have muscular. Okay, so they could definitely work out. They could have like a regular workout routine. And we have they can be more reserved. We picked that up, right? Like in the beginning when they meet people, they kind of hold back on their energy based upon the vibe that they get. And, you know, they just let their intuition confirm or deny how they're feeling about someone. Now, with these messages, these are more specific. So if anything I said doesn't resonate, please leave it. There's a lot of you watching. So, you know, not everyone is going to be with someone who has an unusual hair color or, you know what I mean? Like, it could vary. So definitely don't feel like, oh, I don't want to be with someone who's older, so the whole reading is like null and void. Like, no, like it's okay if you don't resonate with one of these messages because they are more specific, you know, so it's all right. Okay, so pile 2, let's get some romance matchsticks for you and your future spouse. Pile 2, I'm feeling drawn to that one as well. Okay, put that to the side. We have plan a weekend away just for the 2 of you. Yeah, this person loves that quality time. They love it. We have trade a secret. What's one thing that you don't know about each other? Yeah, that emotional intimacy, 100% with the Cancer energy we were picking up. And we have go on a road trip, planned or spontaneous. Yeah, this person just wants to spend a lot of time with you. 100%. They just really, really value togetherness, making memories together. You know, they may want to take a lot of pictures together, or the opposite. They could say like no pictures, no phones, let's be fully present in this moment. I could see it going both ways, to be honest. But they definitely just value that quality time with you. Okay, this is a message from your future spouse's higher self, what they want you to know at the time of you watching this reading. So it says passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. This to me kind of picks up on the fact that like you're really in your power, you're absolutely like romantically attractive, you're connected to the energy of love. Someone could already, you know, your future spouse could already have their eye on you kind of thing. So definitely, yeah, your future spouse's higher self is saying, you're looking good, you know, you're looking good, you're in alignment with love, keep doing you. Okay, so pile 2, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Be on the lookout, like I said, for the 7 days, hopefully 7 days of future spouse readings in December. This video should be kicking that off, so make sure you have the notification bell turned on so you know as soon as I post a video. But yes, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, hit that notification bell. I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel thus far. It means the world to me, especially those of you who watch the ads. It helps me so much, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I would really, really love to do this full time, and every way that you all are supporting my dream, I really do greatly appreciate it. I never want you guys to feel like your support is not appreciated, because it 100% is. And yeah, I will see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 2. This looks beautiful. Like everything about, I can't stop smiling. So everything about your future spouse's energy and the energy of your marriage and your connection feels so positive and wonderful and like warm and fuzzy to me. So yeah, I'm so excited for you and your future together with your future spouse. And take care, pile 2. Wishing you the very best. Hi Pile 3, last but not least, welcome to your reading. So over here we have good for a long massage. This was the love token that I intuitively chose for you all. So your future spouse could have a love language of physical touch. They definitely could also have an energy where they like to, you know, like comfort you if you've had a rough day. Like this isn't someone who would say like, okay, well, you know, tomorrow will be better, or, you know, something like that. Like, this isn't someone who's gonna invalidate your feelings or even try to give you advice or try to, like, fix the situation. This is more of, like, what can I do to help you feel better in this moment and calm down? So, like, they may, like, run you a hot bath if that's something that you like, or they may put your favorite like comfort TV show on and get you a snack, you know, or suggest that you guys go out for like a nice lunch or something. Like they would just do something that would make you feel better. Definitely depends upon like your personality and what like tends to like calm you down or bring you back to center. But there's definitely this energy of them like wanting to help you feel better. You know, like when you've had like a really stressful day, like what can I do to help you? So they're more about actions than words, if that makes sense. Now with the Magician here, the Sunflower, oh my goodness, like it definitely feels like you'll have a marriage that is quite resilient. Definitely like if there are challenges and things like that that come up, you know, the little infinity symbol here feels like you two will work together, but also have a sense of like faith that things are gonna work out for the best. So I do feel like with the Sunflower here, there's a sense of optimism, like you both tend to be pretty positive, glass half full kind of people, or at the very least you try to understand the lesson behind things. And so I feel like that perspective is something that you two are very much in alignment with together. Also, this little charm here reminds me of the moon wand on Sailor Moon, and how like she's able to get out of like impossible situations, you know, through her powers. And the same thing with like the tea kettle, like, you know, the water is boiling, but we are making tea from it, you know, making lemonade from lemons, you know, that kind of energy. And so I definitely feel like even when you're met with challenges, because that's gonna happen for the rest of your life, right? Like that's just life, you know, challenges come and go. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, right? Like it's just part of living. I definitely feel like there's a comfort here in knowing that you have someone by your side that you can rely upon and depend upon. And, you know, it's really frustrating when something bad happens and you have a partner who makes it even worse because of their like negative attitude and their unwillingness to like see why this could have happened, or an unwillingness to try to work at figuring out a way through it. You know, just someone who's like, oh well, this is terrible, I'm just gonna complain about it for forever and give up and not even try. You know, like you have someone who's willing to, you know, stand by your side, not someone who's gonna peace out, or just make the situation worse by like nonstop complaining, you know, in a negative attitude, you know, when something difficult does arise. And I mean, it's hard, like when you're around someone who, you know, their first thought is always negative, you know, they're always complaining, always draining. Like I feel like it's such a relief to you that your future spouse is not like that, and that they are quite positive and optimistic, and that, you know, when difficult things do happen, they accept that as part of life. You know, there are cycles, you know, they understand that. And, you know, darkest before the dawn kind of mentality, like, you know, sometimes things do get really bad, but if you're in a bad cycle, it just means that, you know, eventually you're due for a good cycle, right? You know, and when the good cycles are happening, you know, appreciate them and don't complain about, you know, minor inconveniences all the time. You know, because some people are having great lives and they still complain all the time. And I feel like your future spouse is not like that, which is great. And with Magician, you two could definitely manifest a lot of wonderful things together. And so you may find that your manifestation abilities are heightened when you are with this person, things just come to you more easily. Okay, so let's find out, pile 3, what your marriage will be like, what we need to know about who you will marry. This is the name of the deck that I selected for you all. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but in case you're wondering, it will also be listed in the description box. I really like this deck. I think it's so pretty. And I like how there's like a floral motif on this, and then you also chose the sunflower. I feel like you guys both understand like the idea or sort of the metaphor of like planting seeds, setting intentions, you know, taking inspired action, you know, watering the garden. What you put effort and intention towards will grow, trusting that the seeds will bloom when they're meant to. Like, I feel like you guys just both have an understanding of that. Like, even if your partner wouldn't use the terminology manifest, I feel like they do have at least some sort of belief in a higher power, where they understand, like, you know, it's important to have faith, you know. I feel like they have a sense of faith regardless of whether they are religious or spiritual. I do feel like this person is at least agnostic, you know, they at least believe in a higher power of some sort. Sorry, there's a plane going by if you all hear that. So pile 3, what do we need to know about who you will marry? Oh my gosh, I love this star card. What a beautiful energy to start off your reading, pile 3. So this person could have Aquarius placements. Now we have the 6 of Cups. So you can know this person from childhood. This could also signify that you two will have a very sweet, balanced connection. Again, like, how can I help you? You see how they're taking each other's hand here? Like, how can I help you? Even the baskets repeating. I don't know if you guys can see the little basket here and the little basket here. I feel like you're gonna have a lot more material abundance once you guys come together because of that heightened manifestation ability. Yeah, I really like that. I also like with the Alice in Wonderland kind of story here with the 6 of Cups and the little tea party and the white rabbit. I feel like this person will, man, 6 of Pentacles too. I feel like this person will open you up to new experiences or new ideas that are kind of foreign to you right now. Kind of just this idea of like going down the rabbit hole, things getting curiouser and curiouser, right? Like, we can't see the end. We don't know how this story is going to play out. You know, when Alice jumps down the rabbit hole, she's chasing this white rabbit. She doesn't know where she's going or what's going to happen. But there's just sort of this idea of like, let's just enjoy the journey together. Let's just see where this goes, you know. Let's just, if this is someone from your childhood, let's just reconnect and see where it goes. Like, there's an easiness to this, you know. Nothing about this connection feels forced. And, you know, if you aren't resonating with the childhood message, this could signify that you have shared past lives together, especially because we have repeating 6s now. This could also signify a soulmate connection. But yeah, there's a real sweetness here. Like, let's just see where things go. Let's take it easy. No one's forcing anything. And yeah, you're kind of just meant to, or at least you're allowing things to unfold like pretty naturally. And with the Star card, you know, this could be coming at a time when, you know, you're sort of rebuilding your life, or you're very hopeful about the future when you're coming out of a difficult cycle, because the Star follows the Tower card in the major arcana. So it could be that, you know, when you're meeting your future spouse, it's at a time when you're hopeful, again, even though you don't know how everything's gonna plan out. You know, the constellations here that she's wearing, like, you don't know what's written in the stars yet, but you just have trust and faith that things are gonna go okay. And the way the High Priestess is depicted here, she kind of looks like she's in a cocoon, right? So kind of this idea of like, you know, I'm waiting for this right partner to come in, and until then, you know, I'm just minding my own energy. I'm staying hopeful, keeping my faith, and, you know, it's all gonna work out. Best case scenario, it's all gonna work out in my favor. I am gonna attract my future spouse, and, you know, the rest of it can just fall away, you know, like whatever isn't serving me can fall away. You know, I trust that what is of the highest good is coming for me. And so, yeah, I think that once your future spouse comes in, okay, now there's transformation, now there's blooming, but until then, you're sort of in this stasis. And it doesn't mean that nothing else is happening in your life, but in terms of love and romance, you're just sort of shielding yourself away from everything that isn't the one, you know, like you're not wanting to casually date other people, you're not wanting to, you know, have situationships or anything like that. Like you're just really patiently waiting, you know, for the right one, and you're not willing to settle for anything that is less than that. You're not willing to settle for a half-hearted love, you know, like you want to be able to have a full cup. You know, you want someone who's going to meet your standards and expectations and needs and love. And yeah, you want something that's balanced. With the Six of Pentacles, you're like, you know, I've collected my Six of Pentacles. Like I've collected what I need to offer to a healthy, happy partnership. Now I'm waiting for the rest. You know, so it's like, you know, I've set my table. I'm waiting for the right person to come in. And yeah, like that's what you're wanting. The scales here make me think of the Justice card, and then your bottom of the deck is the Justice card. So just this idea of marriage, like you're waiting for the one. And so yeah, you're not moving off of this pedestal until you meet someone who is, you know, ticking your boxes here. Someone who feels like they are, you know, a soulmate level connection, or your true love. You know, you're waiting for true love. And I especially like the way the Justice card is depicted here. The Egyptians had this idea that when you die, your heart should be as light as a feather, because you shouldn't be burdened with regrets if you lived a good life. And so like energetically, like you're waiting for someone who has a heart as light as a feather, just like you do, because you've made your peace with the past, you've let it go, and you are fully present in the current moment, waiting for the right one. And yeah, like you're not really, again, like willing to step off of this pedestal here. You're not willing to lower your standards or your expectations. I do want to clarify this Five of Swords. Oh, that was fast. Oh, the Five of Cups and the Five of Wands. Wow, okay. So the Five of Swords can talk about essentially like, I have won the battle. You know, I have won the battle, but I haven't necessarily like won the war, right? Like my enemy may come back again. And if we clarify this with the Five of Wands, this is a card of competition. And the Five of Cups, I mean, repeating fives, this is a lot of change now. The Five of Cups talks about grief, loss, disappointment. Sort of the energy here is saying like, I'm putting up a protective hand, right? I am blocking myself from feeling this loss again. I don't have to compete for love. I don't have to beg for love. I don't have to barter for love. I don't have to change myself for a partner. And I'm not repeating this same cycle of grief, loss, and disappointment, and this heartache over what wasn't what I wanted it to be. You know, the heartache of, I saw so much potential in this and it didn't pan out. You know, you're not sitting and, you know, reveling in this energy. You're letting it go, and you're saying no to it in the future. You're saying, this isn't just a battle I've won. I have won the war, because I am staying in my own energy, and I'm not stepping off my pedestal, and I'm not, you know, getting into third-party situations anymore. I'm not crying over, you know, I'm not crying over people who couldn't match me at my level. You know, I'm not doing that. I deserve the best of the best, right? I deserve true love. And that's what's calling in your future spouse, you know, essentially here. I want to see, is there anything more that we need to know about this, Spirit? Oh, the World. Yeah, this is going to feel like completion. This is going to feel like, okay, I've made it. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve here. Like this is it. You know, like when you're with this person, sorry, I have to be careful because of YouTube. You're going to feel like this is my person. This is it. You know, you only plan on getting married one time. You're like, I'm not, you know, like this is my forever person. And this is the one that I can build a life with. Because I think for a lot of you, with the Ace of Wands being your bottom of the deck energy here, a lot of you are wanting someone that you can have a completely new life with. Like you're wanting a new adventure, you're wanting a new start. There just may be some other things in your life that you're not quite happy with. Like maybe you don't quite like where you live currently, or you don't like your job, or there're just some goals that you just haven't met yet. Like buying your first house would be, you know, a goal. There are just things that in your life where you want to see a major change, but for whatever reason, you're kind of being held back from that. And that may be why there's this energy of manifestation and abundance when you meet your future spouse or you come into union with them in a committed partnership, because it's almost like some things in your life have been put on pause because you're meant to achieve it. You're meant to do it with your future spouse by your side, which is beautiful. Okay, I think I want to let's get into the Affairs of the Heart Oracle. I'm going to split the deck because the cards are very thick, and it's been working out really well in the other readings with having the deck split, so we'll do it like this. All right, pile 3. There was some other message, and I'm trying to think of what it was. Maybe it'll come back to me. Usually if you're not thinking about it, it'll come back. Okay, pile 3, your connection to your future spouse. Who will you marry? What do we need to know about this marriage, about this connection, please, Spirit? Pile 3. Keep going, don't stop, almost there. Some of you are a little bit worried, like, am I ever going to meet this person? Is this ever going to happen for me? Oh, I remember what the message was now. Sorry, I have to say it before I forget it. With the World card and just the fact that this deck, I can't remember, this deck is created by someone, I can't remember if they're from Mexico or Spain. I apologize, I don't recall. But this could signify that your future spouse comes from a different cultural background than you, or they live somewhere different than you, or they just had a very different upbringing than you. That message did come up. This could also signify someone that you will travel with, okay? But keep going. Yeah, if some of you are kind of feeling like, okay, I'm trying to be patient, it's going to happen. You know, I feel like Spirit just really wants to reassure you of that. We have ego, focus on material things, actions from a place of fear. This may be why things are being held off a little bit right now, because I don't feel like this is you. Like the High Priestess and the Star, this doesn't feel like you. This feels like your future spouse. Maybe right now they are a little bit too ego focused right now, too focused on achievement and success, but from a place of needing external validation. And so, yeah, I feel like your future spouse has to go through sort of a glow up, right? An awakening to this spiritual connection here before you can be put together. Things have to come back. Things have to come into balance here, right? So it could be that your future spouse just isn't ready for you yet. They have some things they have to let go of, probably some control issues, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of picking up a little bit of a type A energy from this person, and so maybe you're better at letting go, like setting intentions and then letting it go, handing it over to the universe. You know, you do your part and then you let it go. And maybe your future spouse struggles with that, and so you will help them become a better manifester by mastering the art of letting go. as well as, you know, getting them out of their ego. Okay, if this shuffling is loud, I'm sorry. It's just because the cards are thick. Pile 3, your future spouse, pile 3. So they could be an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. We did say Aquarius earlier, so now we have Aquarius twice confirmed. With Justice, that is Libra energy as well. So we've got Libra twice now as well. Okay, we have spring, March, April, May. This could be when you're meeting your future spouse. You could be getting engaged during those months or getting married during those months. That could also be signifying the transformation with your future spouse that has to occur before you meet. And then, you know, the star card that you got earlier does talk about wish fulfillment, a wish coming true. And now you have the card of wishes. So stars aligning, dreams coming true, and fulfillment. So I feel like this person's gonna feel like a wish come true. It's gonna feel like the stars aligned to bring you two together. So this could be like a fated meeting. There could be an element here of serendipity, of, you know, exact puzzle pieces being aligned to bring you two together to make the ultimate vision of true love come true for you. This could talk about your spirit guides working behind the scenes to bring you two together, your higher selves working together, your angels working together to bring you two into union. This could also talk about, you know, you'll have some dreams come true in terms of your career or, you know, just your personal goals when you get into union with this person. Yeah, intuitively, you could be picking up on their energy even now. With answers within reach, gut feeling, and reflection, you know, you could just have a very certain feeling. Like when you meet this person, like on an intuitive level, you have a gut feeling right away that they are the one. This could also signify that if you meditate and get into that state where you can connect with your intuition, you could be getting some answers about this person or some clues or some hints. Also, I think if you slow down and pay attention, it's very likely that their higher self or your guides are trying to send you signs about this person. This could also be signifying that your future spouse needs to get more in connection with their intuition. With the High Priestess, honestly, I'm picking up that that's your energy and that you're very highly intuitive, but if that doesn't resonate, that could be your future spouse's energy. But honestly, it feels very much like your energy to me, pile 3. We have truth, honest, faithful, clarity, and confession. So it may be that you have a gut feeling about this person when you meet them, but maybe it takes you a while to confess your feelings to them, especially if it's someone from your past, from your childhood. You may be hesitant about that. And sometimes it happens that we know someone in our childhood, we go our separate ways, and then as adults, when we reconnect, then we're awakened to the fact of like, the spiritual connection, the soulmate connection, but you know, they had to grow into your person. They didn't start off that way. They had certain lessons they had to learn, right? They had to grow up. This could also signify this person's going to be very faithful, very honest in terms of the actual connection itself. And so, yeah, you're not going to have to guess or play games with this person to figure out how they're feeling. And then bottom of the deck, we have longing, missing you, on their mind, and time apart. So some of you do know this person and you're in separation with them. Like I said, they could be someone from your past, not necessarily an ex, just someone, like we said, from childhood. They could be checking up on your social media right now without you knowing, you know, that kind of thing. This could also signify, like we were picking up with the World card, maybe this is long distance, they're from some other place, and so, you know, you will be, you know, sort of texting and calling each other like, I miss you, you know, because you do, in the beginning, live in two different places. Okay. So now let's get some, I'm actually gonna shuffle this deck. I don't think I shuffled this one before I started your reading. Pile 3, who will you marry? What do we need to know? These cards are going to tell us like positive attributes about this person. I benefit with gratitude. So this person understands the importance of being grateful for what you do have. So this person won't take you for granted, and they won't take, you know, their material abundance, or they won't take for granted their family or their friends or their pets even, you know, like they see value in appreciating what they do have. We have, I advance through my own abilities. So this person could have something that they're really good at doing, some skill that they're really good at, an innate talent, and that helps them in terms of their career success. So they have something that they're just really good at doing. Or they may be someone who's kind of good at everything, you know, but you know those people who are athletic and artistic and like charming and charismatic, and you're like, you can't be good at everything, and yet they kind of seem like they're kind of good at everything. Okay, we have, I am trustful in my relationships. Well, that's great. So they're not gonna be the type of person who's like, where are you going? Who are you with? When are you gonna get back? You know, they're not asking you 20 questions every time you leave the house. They're not going through your phone or going through your search history. You know, they are trustful. It says, I keep the waters pure. Yeah, I feel like they're just very honest with how they feel with the truth card. Like, they'll just tell you how they're feeling. Like, you won't have to guess at it. You won't have to question how they're feeling. Like, they just keep it honest, you know. They're very forthcoming. They're very forthcoming in how they feel. You won't even probably have to ask. They'll just tell you. I embrace the all. I feel like they do have sort of a sense of understanding of their place in the universe, or they will once you're together. So that's what we were picking up before. Like, they do have a sense of faith. Okay. And then in the bottom of the deck here, it says, I remain in balance with my emotions. So yeah, I do feel like this person is quite emotionally mature. 100%. If they're not right now, they will be. Okay, let's get some more information here. Pile 3, who is your future spouse? Who will you marry? What do we need to know? Pile 3, aren't these cards just beautiful? Like, they're so pretty. Pile 3. I don't know if I showed you all the back of the, like, isn't that gorgeous? Like, I just love it. Okay. Pile 3, who is your future spouse? Who will you marry? Let's find out what we need to know, please, Spirit. It says, time to decide. Make a decision based upon your heart's truest desires. So maybe there's something with your future spouse in terms of their career where maybe they've had certain financial success, you know, and they are pretty accomplished and people praise them for that, but they feel like what they're doing is ego-based, and that there's actually something better for them out there that would be more in alignment with their heart, but maybe they're kind of afraid to go after it because of what others might say. And so that ego, that fear, is keeping them in a situation that isn't actually emotionally fulfilling to them in terms of their career. And so it could be that once they make that decision to follow their heart, that's when they meet you. We have animals. Oh man, I just dropped all the cards. It says you understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance as animals are part of your life's work. Okay, so maybe this person wants to work with animals, but they're not currently doing so. This could also just signify that they're vegan or vegetarian, or that they have a fur baby, a pet that they love a lot. This message came up in pile 2 as well. But it could just be that animals really vibe with this person, you know. When they go over to someone's house, they'll be like, oh, the dog doesn't like anybody, but then the dog ends up following your future spouse everywhere and wants your future spouse's attention. You know, like, animals just love your future spouse. This could also signify that, you know, they work as a veterinarian or something like that. They work in a zoo. Okay. We have infinite abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. Yeah, it kind of feels like Spirit is trying to push your future spouse towards doing something, but they just haven't they haven't made that step yet. And Spirit is like, you know, wanting to support them, wanting to bless them with this abundance, but they have to decide to answer kind of the call of their soul's purpose here. We also have counseling here. So your future spouse could work in the mental health field. They could be a therapist, a counselor, anyone really working within the mental health field, like a school guidance counselor even. This could also signify that your future spouse is really good at listening, because a lot of therapy is listening. And so they are very skilled at that. They're very good at holding space for people. We were picking up emotional intelligence. We have strength here. Everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. Yeah, I feel like that's why your future spouse has this emotional maturity, because they understand cycles. Like, they understand that sometimes in life we're put through things to teach us things and to make us better. And so they see life from the perspective of it's happening for me, not to me. You know, like they do have that understanding that if something challenging is happening, it's for their highest good. And if something's meant to leave their life, you know, sort of, at least they're learning this lesson of learning to let go. Okay, they are learning that. They are developing that inner strength and resiliency. How to keep their hope and their faith in dark times. We have flowers here. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessing to others and your life's purpose. So I do feel like there's an energy here of your future spouse needing to get more in touch with their divine feminine, and it's like slow down and smell the roses, you know, because I do feel like sometimes this person works to their detriment. You know, they work too hard, and if they would slow down, oh my gosh, bottom of the deck we have career change. Yeah, this person this person is going through a career change, or they need to make a change in their career to align themselves more with what is going to make their heart happy, what is going to be in alignment with their soul's purpose, what Spirit is like urging them to, you know, answer the call of your soul, of your heart. And yeah, I think they will find a lot more beauty in this path, because it's going to be a lot gentler and it's not going to test their strength so much, because they're going to be on the right path. Okay. Actually, I want to take the archetype cards first. Okay, so we're going to find out which archetype best represents your future spouse. Which archetype best represents your future spouse here? Which archetype best represents your future spouse? Pile 3. I swear, I think this came out in the soulmate reading as well. I could be remembering this wrong, but if you watch the ultimate soulmate reading, and I think it was pile 2 that had this card come out, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it came out in that reading as well. That lines up with good for a long massage, right? So it says spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. So yeah, this person is definitely going to be very physically attractive to you. You may see them as a little bit of a player, or someone who maybe they're so charming that you're a little bit suspicious of them, but I do feel like you have a gut feeling about this person. And if you're connected to your intuition, because we did get the intuition card, I do feel like even though typically, like if someone was flirting with you or coming on kind of strong, you might run away, but with them, there's something that still draws you into them, like you can't help but want to be around them, and it's because, you know, this is your future spouse. So yeah, I do think that they're good at the art of seduction. Yeah, okay. So now let's get an archetype that best represents how your future spouse will view you at the beginning of your connection. All right, so like when you first meet or reconnect with them, If you know them from your past, how will they view you, pile 3? Sorry, I'm a little sniffly today. Oh, warrior. Strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Okay, so if this person has a bit of an ego problem, they'll see you as someone who has overcome your ego, overcome your fears. Love that. So they'll see you as someone that they can learn from. They'll see you as someone who is really strong, really resilient. They'll see you as someone who's very disciplined. The stoicism could talk about how, you know, maybe you're a little bit reserved in the beginning because, sorry, there's like someone running up to my door with packages, but it's like a normal looking car. I swear, like people, all kind of people deliver things these days. Like, I don't know, it looked like an Amazon package. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. So that may be why like you seem a bit stoic, because they're so like charming and like seductive, and like you're like pulling back a little bit, like, let me connect with my intuition and see how I feel about this, you know, that kind of energy. Yeah, they see you as like the hero of your own story. Like they really have a lot of respect for you, which I think is beautiful. You know, like, yeah, they are being like seductive and all that, but they respect you, which is definitely like what you want. Okay, let's see which archetype best represents how your future spouse will view you once you're in a committed partnership with them. Oh, this is wonderful. We have Goddess. Oh man, lucky you. They see you as a goddess. All right, and remember, this is just divine feminine energy. So if you're a man watching this, you know, it's fine. This isn't talking about gender. It says the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. So yeah, they're definitely going to be like very attracted to you physically. Like the physical attraction is very mutually strong here. But also, remember how I said in the beginning, I felt like you were the high priestess. I felt very strongly that that was your energy. And the fact that we have now another divine feminine archetype, it tells me that I was on the right track with that, because I feel like you are meant to bring the divine feminine to your future spouse. They are more of a divine masculine, and so you're meant to help them connect with their divine feminine, which is also something else we've previously said. So I really like this confirmation that we're having. Yeah, and I do think they see you as someone who's very wise. Absolutely. They definitely have kind of this energy of, it's like, I respect you so much, and then here it's kind of like worshiping at the altar, not in like an unhealthy way, but in a very like beautiful way. Like they do see that you were on a pedestal, and they have climbed to meet you at that pedestal. You see what I'm saying? Like you haven't had to lower your standards or expectations or compromise your boundaries or your self-worth or your self-respect for this person. This person has worked on themselves to meet you where you were. See what I'm saying? So they have elevated themselves to match this goddess energy that you are putting out there, and they see you as that. They recognize your pedestal, like they recognize the place that you were at. They recognize you as that high priestess energy, as someone who knows their worth, and they would never ask you to compromise your self-respect or your self-worth for this love connection. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Where am I going with it? Let's do these cards. So these are going to represent the major themes in your marriage. So pile 3, major themes in your marriage, pile 3. I wish you all could see Gracie right now. Like she's on this high shelf all curled up in a cute little ball. Gracie's my cat, for those of you who don't know. My name is actually Bethany. It's not Gracie. Gracie's my cat. I got her from my cousin, and it kind of cracks me up because no one really knows about my YouTube channel except for 2 people. And so like I renamed Gracie. Her name was Berkeley when I adopted her. And so I'm like, you know, my cousin doesn't know I've like renamed Gracie and made her like semi-famous. Like, You know, she's got a whole, I always joke that like the YouTube channel is going to be Gracie's like legacy. So anyway, a little fun fact about me. Oh my gosh, passion, of course, of course, of course. Like the physical aspect of this connection, like if that's not something you're typically into, your future spouse is gonna awaken that side in you 100%. Like this is the kind of connection where you have like makeup, physical intimacy. I'm trying to be very careful and keep things PG, but you get what I'm saying. Like this is the connection where like sparks are flying. It says rise passion, rise up high, inflame my purpose, reach the sky. I also think like beyond like just the physical attraction and the magnetism here, also how it says inflame my purpose, I do feel like you will be an inspiration to this person as well. Like again, like they feel like they have to step up to your level. There's something there where they have so much respect for you. So much respect for you. And the 11, double ones, manifestation, like I think you open them up to that, you know, to the idea of instead of just working yourself to the point of burnout, actually you can be in a divine feminine energy and receive blessings. So I feel like you bring balance to them as well. It's beautiful energy. I keep saying that over and over again. It's beautiful energy, but it's true for your marriage. It's like very true. Okay, this was like wanting to come out. Like I just, it didn't flip over, but it kept peeking at me like 3 times. So I'm gonna call it, and we'll just get an extra message for you. But yeah, this is true love. This is true love, 100%. Ah, wow, a lot of cards are coming out, and that's okay. You all have success, success. Shocker. I mean, you chose the Magician energy, right? Bottom of the deck, harvest. There's going to be a lot of abundance. Yeah, I feel like in terms of like material success, you two could achieve a lot together, probably because there is that balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Best possible decision. If you're the type of person who always gets cold feet, who always second guesses, you know, like even if you're super intuitive and your heart knows it, you might still like sometimes second guess yourself. Don't worry about it. Like this is true love. This is the best possible decision you can make. This is the best partner for you to marry. Like don't overthink it. Especially, I think for some of you, this person's very different than your usual type, and that could be why you question it. Even though your intuition, your gut is telling you yes, your logical mind may, you know, override that. So it's just reassuring you this is the best possible decision. This is true love. And then we have healing here. And that could be why, you know, like if you have this history of like tower moments in relationships where things didn't work out, you know, people betrayed you. We did get the 5 of Cups in the beginning and the 5 of Wands. So like your dating history may have been quite rough. This isn't that. Like this connection is going to be very mending, very soothing to your heart, which is beautiful. And this could be the energy of your future spouse, you know, so just take what resonates as always. All right, let's get some astrological messages. This will be our last oracle deck before we get into the, I don't know, the second section of the reading. Okay. I don't know what to call it. Y'all know what it is. All right, so astrological messages for pile 3's marriage. Who will they marry? What do we need to know? We've got Cancer. Okay. Oh, wow. Neptune. So Cancer says feeling, sympathetic, comforting, nostalgic, protective, intuitive, birthing, tender, nocturnal, caring, moody, receptive, lunar, sentimental, introverted, defensive, and family-oriented. North Node has come out in every single group. I love that. I love that so much because it tells me that for my little collective here, all my subscribers here, it seems like you are marrying people who are in alignment with your North Node, your soul's purpose, and people who will help you as you will help them meet your destiny. So that is wonderful, right? Like these people aren't, your future spouses are not holding you back from achieving your dreams. They are supporting you in achieving your dreams. And like I told the other two groups, you can look up your north node in your birth chart. It's going to be the opposite zodiac sign to your south node. I'm sorry, there's a fire truck going by. So that will give you maybe a hint or a clue about your future spouse as well, and the type of person they are, depending upon what sign your north node falls in, as well as the house. Now we have Libra twice now, so you've got Libra again. It says harmonious, cooperative, balanced, socially aware, artistic, people-pleasing, fair, idealistic, aesthetic, choosy, aspirational, geometric, graceful, considerate, obliging, indecisive, judgmental, and flattering. I don't think I've ever read out all these words when I use these cards, so first time for everything. But I really like the balance between Cancer and Libra here. Like the water and the air is quite interesting. Like, I think that with Libra, you're going to share the same vision for the future. Like you and your future spouse both have like shared goals, a shared vision, and sort of like the beauty that you want to add to your life and the type of connection that you want to have. And I think that you both really value and recognize the strengths in each other. Cancer could be hinting at, again, this person, you either share past lives together or you know them from childhood. I think this is going to be a really emotionally fulfilling connection for you, and definitely going to be someone who, you know, can handle your emotions and the yeah, like they can handle you at your worst and they don't fault you for it. You know, they're not 1 foot out the door the first time you're moody or the first time you snap at them, because it's gonna happen, right? In a marriage, like you're gonna have days where you snap at your partner and it has nothing to do with them, you know, like you're human. And same thing with your partner. You're going to have days where you are more difficult to love, you know, where you are in a bad mood for no good reason, or, you know, you're feeling emotional or overly sensitive, and that's okay. Like, you don't fault each other for being human, you know, and I think that's really beautiful. And then with Neptune here, I really feel like you could be seeing this person in your dreams before you meet, especially with that High Priestess energy in the very beginning. And also this is talking about Pisces energy now as well. So that's another zodiac sign to take into consideration. And yeah, so you could be getting dreams and downloads about this person before you meet them. Same thing on their end, because we do have this balance, this reciprocity between you two. If you meditate, you could get more downloads about this person. I also just feel like this is a connection where, again, there's a depth of emotional understanding between you two. And that's because Cancer and Pisces, like, we have double water signs now. But also, I feel like there's just sort of this energy of, like, let's escape the world and be in our own little bubble for a time. You know, like, it kind of feels like when you're with this person, the rest of the world kind of melts away for a little bit. And so you may have this energy, especially when you meet them, like if it's a crowded place or a public place or there's other people around, it just feels like it's you and this person. Like, it really feels like you two have your own little world together, your own little language together. You know, you don't have to say everything in words to pick it up. You know, energetically, you know, there's a little bit of like a psychic connection going on, if I'm being honest, but it just feels like you pick up on each other's energy. You see each other, you understand each other. Even though you're so different, it's like opposite sides of the same coin. That's the kind of, that's the image they're showing me now. Yeah, I feel like this also, this connection like raises the vibration of the collective. Like, I think there's something about your marriage and your relationship that is inspiring to other people, that other people look at like, I want a marriage like that, I want a relationship like that. You know, it looks like true love. It you know, shines that outward. And so it makes people believe like true love is possible, marriage can last. You know, I feel like you help people who are a bit cynical about love just by being together and staying together and showing up and putting in that work and choosing each other and, you know, yeah, being better together, which is beautiful. Because it does say universal love there. Okay. I think also if you envision now how you want to feel with a partner, I feel like this person, it's about feeling, right? It's not about the superficial qualities or characteristics. It's about the feeling. They're gonna bring about those feelings in you, 100%. Okay, now let's get into this part of the reading. So this may be a little bit loud. If you need to lower the volume on your earbuds, then go ahead and do so. I'm gonna pull these out as well. So these have like physical qualities, love languages, personality traits, just random stuff really. Pile 3, who is your future spouse? Who will you marry? What do we need to know? These are more specific messages, so if something doesn't resonate, it's not yours, and that's okay. Like, there's a lot of you watching. Pile 3. It's just so much fun to get these, you know, like even if they don't resonate for everyone, they're really cool. Pile 3. Okay. So I'm going to move these to the side and then we'll open them up. If I don't move them all into one pile, I'll find them later after I finish filming. I'm like, oh, I didn't read that one. Okay. Your person is ambitious. Yep, we got that ego card. I mean, it's just part of it. Like when you're an ambitious person, your ego is gonna come out more. It's just part of it. Like personal experience. Like it's a fine line, you know? Okay. They could have straight hair. Wow, I have some of these folded up a lot. They are spontaneous. Love it. They're romantic. Yeah, they are. Don Juan. 100%. Their love language is physical touch. We said that with good for a long massage. Okay, I did a great job picking these love tokens for every group because in every group there's been a confirmation for the love token. A pat on my back. Okay, they are well-dressed and stylish. I like that too. That makes sense with the Don Juan archetype. We have, okay, they're empathetic, yeah. Because we did get the counselor card for this group as well. Like that. And then charismatic, yeah, they are 100% charming. 100%, this person is a smooth talker, like they know exactly how to touch you, like all that stuff, very charming. Don Juan, 100%, yes. Okay, let's get your romance matchsticks now. Pile 3, romance matchsticks for their future spouse. Pile 3, please spirit. I'm doing that one, this one, and this one. Okay, put that to the side. We have pick each other's outfits for the day. Okay, if they're very well-dressed and stylish and maybe you don't care about personal style, they may be like, let me dress you. Or if you guys have very different senses of like style or aesthetics, you may do that just for a laugh. Like, let's pick out each other's outfits for a laugh. Okay. We have praise your partner in front of others. I definitely feel like your future spouse is very complimentary towards you, and that could be why people are like a little bit like, man, I wish my husband or my wife would compliment me like that or notice me like that. You know, it's because of that Don Juan side to them. Like, they are very charming, but they genuinely mean those compliments. I mean, they love you, they're with you, you're their person, you know. Yeah. Okay, and let's see. Find an unexpected moment for a kiss. That's that spontaneous side to them, as well as the Don Juan side, 100%. Okay, let's look at your final oracle message here. This is a message from your future spouse's higher self, what they want you to know at the time of you watching this reading. So it says, the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. I love this. I love this because that tower moment has passed, right? Like, we didn't get the tower card. We got the star to start off your reading. So the hard times are behind you. Embrace new possibilities. You know, keep your hope. alive. Keep on wishing on that star because your wish is going to come true, because you also got the card of wish fulfillment. I'm not going to dig through all of these to find it, but you know, trust and remember you did get that card. So I love this. This is such a beautiful message to end your reading. And see, like, your future spouse's higher self, they know the right words to say to you too. So yes, this was your reading. Your heart now has wings. This was your reading, pile 3. All 3 groups were amazing today. I am so grateful that you all have let me do this reading and tap into your energy, because every single group has been fantastic. And yeah, I do love the future spouse readings, I do. If you skip the intro, like I said, I'm hoping to do a full 7 days of future spouse readings as like my holiday gift to you all in the month of December. So make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell turned on so you will be aware of that. This reading should be kicking off that series, but we'll see. And yeah. So please consider liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. Like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please watch the ads. It does help the channel to grow and continues to allow me to do this for you all. I hope to be able to do it full time one day and expand upon what I'm currently doing. I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel thus far. I'm so incredibly grateful and appreciative for all your support. I really do value this. Like, this has helped me out a lot. Like, it's been a difficult year for me, and having these videos and like consistently having something creative to do has helped me out a lot. So I'd like to express gratitude for that as well. Like, this has helped my mental health as well. Even though it's hard to find time to film because I'm so busy, it's been like necessary time that I've had to take out. And yes, a huge thank you for that as well. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 3. I'm wishing you the very best. And yeah, don't step off your pedestal because you have a really amazing future spouse in store for you. Okay, take care, pile 3.